And we are live. What's going on, everybody?
Hello.
And we are live. What's going on, everybody?
We are.
Making sure our sound. Chat, how we doing on sound? Everything good? I always got to double check that stuff. Making sure our sound. Chat, how we doing on sound? Everything good? I always got to double check.
I guess it's time for me to open my drink.
Chat, how we doing on sound?
Same thing as last week. I just had some more, so it's another blackberry mule. Same thing as last week. In a can. It's pretty good. So it's another
Nice.
blackberry mule. Same thing as
Okay.
in a can.
Sorry, you're hearing an echo. I'm listening to her. Okay. We are good to
They have
go.
an echo? Wait, do we need a
No,
confirm
no.
there's not an echo? Or are we good?
I got. No, I was just listening to my stream back. What's up,
Gotcha.
everybody? How's everybody doing tonight? Everybody doing good? Just making sure everything was clicking, make sure everything was doing what it needs to do. You know, you got like a million different stuff radiating around here all the time.
Ready to rock and roll.
My eyes are always everywhere, trying to figure out what is going on. So, well, we got a lot to do tonight, guys. It's gonna be a busy show, that's for sure. We're gonna be shuffling.
It kind of is, yeah. Jim in the chat says hi. Allocate says hey.
Yep. And we got a lot. We're gonna our SpeedRun Showdown tonight, so we'll be ushering people in and out, and there will be a little downtime. I'll put a little intermission screen so you guys don't have to see what we do in the background, but yeah, should be a really good show tonight. So it sounds like our audio is good. What's up, Zombie Pops? I got a new
what's up?
I got a new like overlay thing now where I can pop up people are talking in the chat. I can pop it up on screen. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm learning new toys. It's just cool. There's so much to learn in YouTubing. So all right, well, let's get a show going, guys. What do you think?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2. What's up, Guardian? Welcome to episode 282 of Guardian Downcast, a Destiny podcast. Hey, I'm your host, Todd the Gator, and I'm a day one Guardian who loves gaming and especially the Destiny franchise. We're the podcast that's all about your stories, your community, and your destiny. This week, I'm talking with my co-host, Kingsleymac. RNGGator is off this week. He'll be here next week. What's up, Mike? How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing great, Todd. I am happy to be here once again, as always.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. For those of you who may have just discovered our podcast, we're a weekly Destiny show, and we've actually been producing audio episodes for over 5 years now. And, things have changed over the years as our show format is adapted with the times. We've decided to produce a live vodcast for our show on YouTube, where you can interact with us in the chat on Friday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern. And I always announce a reminder in our Discord. And if you're interested in our Discord, that's discord.gg/Guardian Downcast. We'll also have a replay of tonight's show on my YouTube channel, of course. The audio version is always available to all of our podcast listeners out there. And you can also go to our website, guardiandowncast.com, to listen to any of our back episodes as well on demand. Well, in this episode, we'll first catch up with our past week. Mike and I will also share our opinions of the Game Awards, which went live last night. I was up till like 3 a.m. watching that. It's okay. Next, we will have our 2024 SpeedRun co-leaders. That would be Deadpool 1 Merc and Sweaty Spooks, who are tied at 50 questions answered each. And we're going to have a final head-to-head winner takes all to determine this year's SpeedRun champion, which will win a monetary prize and a special badge and role in our Discord community. Just a little flex, for the next year. Oh, and they will both get a special SpeedRun list of questions custom curated by me. So we'll see who's on point tonight. Once that's been completed, I will go over the last This Week in Destiny blog of 2024 from Bungie and highlight the important parts of it for all of us tonight. Next, and probably the meat of tonight's show, Mike and I will discuss the latest developer insight from Robbie Stevens concerning the upcoming Codename Frontiers new saga of Destiny 2 arriving in June of 2025, and he really left some clues as to what we might expect soon. I will then give the wheel a good spin live tonight to see who won that $100 Amazon digital gift card from our Guardian Downcast survey, our 2024 end of year survey. And there was a contest where all the contestants were entered into a drawing, and we'll see who wins that digital gift card tonight. And also we'll go over some of the comments in the Discord. I think we got some questions. some non-Destiny questions tonight we'll go out on. And of course, whoever wins on the wheel, what I did on the Wheel of Names tonight is I put a portion of their email address, so it kept them anonymous where people couldn't dox them or anything. So I've got a portion of their email address so they'll know who it is. And then of course we'll have their full email address from the results of the survey. And that way they'll get their code in their email. I tell you what, Mike, we had some really good, people really took their time to give us great feedback on our show. And on another episode, I'm going to go over some of those comments that people left. I think we got too much on our plate tonight, but I just want to say thank you to everyone who participated in the survey. We have, I think 24 entries tonight. We had, I think 27 total. 3 were anonymous, 2 were anonymous, and 1 person messaged me and said they don't want to be in the drawing. So 24 entries tonight on the wheel. So we'll see how that goes. By the way, if you have any feedback for us concerning anything we talk about tonight, let's hear it. It's discord.gg/Guardian Downcast. That's our Discord server if you'd like to get an invite to our community. And you can post that feedback in our Guardian Downcast show feedback channel. If you have any questions from our community, whether it's from the Discord, email, SpeakPipe, like I said, we'll answer those tonight as well. For those who want to post a question in the live chat, just make sure you @ Todd the Gator or Kingsleymac so we can see them. It's a pretty chill show this week, but we do have a lot to cover tonight. So let's roll. All right.
It is jam-packed, but we're excited.
We got a lot to go over tonight. Well, here we go. 3, 2. Mr. Kingsleymac. Mike, what have you been doing this week, man? Let's catch up real quick here before we get into the nuts and bolts of the show. I'll start with you, man. What you been up to this week?
All right. Real quick in gaming, had a lovely raid on Wednesday night with the crew, and we decided to do garden raid this week. And it was nice to help, I believe, finally get McMaximo a full clear on that. Maybe he's had another clear, sorry if you have, but go through it again. I remember one time recently when we were trying it, we didn't get it done. I still had the quest in my quest screen of, you got to do the whole raid to get the red border.
Yeah.
And I still had the final encounter not completed, and I hadn't run it since, so I just kept the quest in my inventory and then finally got that done on Wednesday.
I got a question. Do you have to do that every week to get that red border? Or once you unlock it,
red border, yeah, you got to run the raid
every week. Okay.
Well,
I'm just asking if it's just like a.
I'm not sure if you mean like you have to complete. Yeah.
Will that quest pop up every week?
Yeah.
Or do you have to do it just one time to unlock the red border every week?
Well, you have to do it every time because you only get a red border when you complete the raid.
I got it.
They just put it in a quest form.
I see.
So you have to pick it up. So in that aspect, it can be a little annoying. Like, why do we have to pick it up, right?
Yeah. Just
let us run it.
Yeah.
But whatever. But it's good. And for me, the raid was dropping pretty good amount of red borders anyways. I feel like I got 2 or 3 others just from random drops.
Good.
I don't really care anyways because I mostly, for PvE purposes, I think Deepstone Crypt Raid overall is way better for weapons than Garden. I know you like Garden Raid, but there's nothing really I'm running after that one for.
I like Deepstone too. In fact, I have several weapons I still haven't crafted in the Deepstone Crypt Raid too. So,
there you go.
Yeah, I definitely could run either one and be happy. Yep.
Yeah, but always fun to run that and to help get some, clarification on some parts. It's still, a very interesting raid where this happens in a lot of other raids too, but it's kind of quite easy until you get to 3rd encounter. It can be a little tricky for some groups, but then 4th encounter, it's just and I remember this when I was first running the raid, it seems very hectic because there's so much going on that you don't necessarily need to be a part of, but really can distract you and you can get in the way.
Yeah.
And I know McMaximo was talking about this, so I can mention this. I'm not mentioning anything he wouldn't want to say, but he felt like he learned some things a little bit better. But what was happening is, and I remember this happening to me too, where you try to say all this stuff, but there's so many things you got to remember. But the biggest thing is try not to get in people's way on that raid, right?
Right.
Like if you accidentally are running past someone and they're trying to connect a tether, if that group of 2 people or whatever is not expecting a third, someone running by will make it worse,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I
And
get that.
they'll tether back to that other person and cause problems. There's also lots of chatter. Team 1 go, team 2 go left.
Right.
You always have to be on point. You don't have to necessarily remember a lot to do, but you have to be really ready to do things fast when someone tells you what to do and stay out of the way. And because of all that, it's hectic.
Yeah.
No one should be expected to learn it all quickly, right?
Right.
Like any raid, it can take you many runs to kind of understand it all, but I've always liked it. I mean, I'm getting a little more bored with that raid,
Mhm.
except for the third and the fourth encounter. I still enjoy a lot, uh,
Yeah.
but it's it's a good time. We had fun. The kind of the usual crew was there, and oh, we have a new title for HD Tech.
Oh.
His name is ADHD. So you're in good company with.
Yeah. Don't worry. I took my Adderall. I'm good. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
No,
That's amazing.
it's a loving jab. I mean, my wife has
Yeah.
ADHD. I have
Yeah.
many friends and everything, and no sweat at all. But it was just with some jokes that came up.
Can you imagine if my head used to be on a swivel when before I got it, analyzed or whatever? Yeah, it would just be overwhelming. I don't know if I'd be able to do this right now because there's so many screens looking at me right now. It's very distracting. Yeah. So what else you been up to, man?
All right, yeah, and then real quick, I've also been playing. Do 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 do
I was
do
gonna
do do
ask you that.
do.
I saw you playing it
Indiana,
last night. Go ahead, say it
yeah,
again.
so fun. And I like the Star Wars game, but this game is freaking amazing. You feel like you're in an Indiana Jones movie. And this game has almost 4 hours of cutscenes in it.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's why single player games can be quite amazing because, they're one and a done. They work on them for a long time, but they can have so much content to them.
Yeah.
Um, it's fun. It's just everyone check out this game. Now it's on PC and Xbox and Games Pass, so you can, if you don't want to buy it, you can just plop down a couple dollars for Games Pass. Now they are going to make it for PlayStation a port eventually, early next year, I think. So, but it's not there yet.
Two things.
Yeah.
One, I don't know how to tell you this game. It's called Game Pass, not Games Pass.
Not Games Pass. Yes,
No,
there are multiple games on it, but you are right. It is Game Pass.
I'm just giving you shit.
No, I love.
I have to dish it out because everyone gives it to me. Oh, and the second thing I wanted to mention though about that game, the Indiana Jones game, before I cut you off when you're trying to say it, my wife doesn't really care for video games, and she saw the ad in the movie theater for that game, and she goes, "Is this a game?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "My God, it looks so good. That game looks awesome." So I'll probably get it eventually. So
You should.
is it available on Steam or do I have to get Game Pass? Is it only Xbox?
You don't have to get Game Pass. You can buy it. Yeah, it's available on
Steam. Okay, good to know.
Well, it's through the Microsoft Store. I don't know if it's on Steam directly, but you can buy it one and done.
Okay.
And the reviews are off the chart, and I'll get to that in a second. But there was a bunch of articles saying that it would have been a contender for Game of the Year. The problem is it came out right after the deadline, so they weren't able to get it in for 2024.
Yeah.
I hope it gets there for next year. The problem is this is an awkward time to come out with a game. Everyone's going to forget it by next year, and recency bias, unfortunately, can be a thing. But I think it's worth it. It currently has 87% on Metacritic for professional reviews and an 8.7. This is like one of the first times it's exactly the same for users and critics. 8.7 user reviews. That is really good for user reviews.
That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Grammys do it all the time. They'll put their right at the end of because it's like you said, it's proximity to the awards. A lot of the more movies that get voted in by the Academy usually come in the very first part of the year. So yeah, I'm curious to see what'll pop up. What else?
Yep. And then I saw real quick. I've never, funny enough, seen Royal Tenenbaums, so watch that with the wife.
It's good.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Wes Anderson or whatever.
I don't.
I like this one better. I got a little slow and boring at the end, but I was cracking up the first half of the movie.
I understand your humor completely now. Because
Yes.
my wife would watch I would watch that movie and we're like, I don't get it. Yeah, it's just
Well, I can get why, yeah, you wouldn't like that. Now, I didn't really like though his other one, Marigold Hotel or whatever that one was, but
yeah. We didn't even see it.
yeah, but I like this one. But the big event for this week was I saw Wicked.
Yes, I did too. I did
You
too.
did too, yeah.
I saw it. It finally came. Moana finally got the F out of here. Went to the regular
Mhm.
theaters because you figured they got their holiday money from all the kiddos. And
Mhm.
it came back to the Dolby this week. I was like, all right, this is our chance. Let's go watch it in the Dolby.
Nice.
So
Okay,
yeah,
well, I really enjoyed it.
yeah, yeah.
And I have not seen the musical, and I barely knew about the story. I kind of knew it had to do, it's not supposedly canon per se, true canon, but it goes very well with the Wizard of Oz story. I did not know it was like basically prequel and sequel once
Hmm.
we eventually get to part two.
Yeah, yeah. They
But
kind of starts.
it was
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
So okay, I'm probably gonna get hate for this, but I'm sorry. It got an 89% certified fresh from the critics on Rotten Tomatoes. It got a 95% from audience, which I was very surprised at.
Mhm.
I watched it Wednesday night with my wife, and we both kind of had the same opinion as we were leaving. Maybe I'm just not a Broadway play musical kind of guy, but my wife and I were underwhelmed by it. I mean, I've never really been a theater geek. I mean, the only play I ever remember was being in was, I think I was 13 years old in junior high school, which is called middle school now. I remember playing, the play was about celebrating TV shows in like the 50s and 60s. And you know how there was always an announcer at the end that went, tune in next week and see. Well, I was going through puberty and all that early in my 13-year-old age, faster than a lot of the other boys. And I fit my part perfectly. It's kind of ironic that now I'm doing a podcast with the same speaker voice, but I, it, it's
The
just,
original Wizard of Oz was basically musical too.
I know
Had
it
lots
was,
of
I know it
music.
was, but the thing about the original Wizard of Oz is the music wasn't like bam, 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 musical, 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 musical. They scattered it nice and evenly throughout the movie. And I felt the same way when I watched the remake of Willy Wonka with Timothy Chalamet. I just don't understand going through a story singing all the time and explaining what is happening. It's just a little archaic to me. I'd rather hear the story of Wicked as a drama with a bit of suspense and darkness. It just seems more mature to me. I'm sorry, I'm going to say this word, but the kind of Pollyanna mindset of musicals is just a turnoff for me. It's just a total opposite of the movie. And we both agreed that something like Heretic was definitely much. And I know it's a totally different genre, but on the plus side, the music was very bright and inspiring, and the music was fantastic. The singing was on point. The final scene of the movie actually was very dramatic. I felt that it was very good, but my wife and I were pretty much looking at each other during the film, just rolling our eyes. Cause it's just not us. It's just not what we like to watch.
So you're the 5 people out of 100 then that don't
I'm
like
the
it.
5. Yeah. I gave it 2.5 stars. Sorry, man. I thought it was not great.
Oh
Just
man.
because I just hate musicals. I know I'm going to
No,
get
you don't hate all musicals. And also this had less music than the
I know
if you like the original Wizard of Oz, but this had less music than the Timothy, the other one you mentioned. That had
Willy
even more.
Wonka.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, see what I didn't like about the Willy Wonka movie is, they didn't sell it as a musical. They sold it as, and my wife goes, well, you know what? The original Willy Wonka was also a musical. I said, yeah, it was. But again, it was tastefully spread out throughout the movie. I don't know, man. I'm just not a musical person. I'm not a theater person. If I went to New York, I might go to one Broadway play just to say I've done it, but I'm not that kind of person. Sorry, I'm
It's
just
not just theater. I promise you, there's people that are not into theater at all and love these movies, or else
yeah.
there's no way you can have 95%.
Hey, RNGGator said the same thing. He says I loved it. I
Well,
saw
he is
the
into theater though.
yeah, and he
But I
saw the
mean,
play. He saw the play too.
yeah, but
Yeah,
what I'm saying is, you do not have to be in a theater to enjoy this
yeah.
movie. And
Don't. I'm a crusty old man. Don't listen to me. Just go watch it. Go watch it.
oh
You
well,
know, if you watch it now, the theaters get all the profit anyway because the opening week is already come and gone. They already got their profits. So now's the time to watch movies when the theater gets the money.
The only thing I'm worried about is I heard, and this happens with a lot of musicals, unfortunately, not everyone, but a lot of
Yeah.
times the first half is almost better than the second, until you get to like the very, very end, and they'll have some cool dramatic thing again. But I've heard that specifically about Wicked, and and then I get a little disappointed. I'm like, well, we got to wait another year or two,
Yeah.
and then see a second half that may not be as good as the first. But all that still being said, I had blast. It was so much fun, and I'll probably see it again in the theaters too.
What's funny is my wife, I said, well, okay, we know not to go see part 2. My wife goes, oh, no, we got to watch part 2. I got to know how it ends. I says, I didn't tell you how it ends. She's going
You
to,
can get the story online. You don't have to.
yeah,
People already
I know.
the
But
story's
she, even though she admitted she didn't care for it, now we got to go watch it because we got to finish it, right? We're completionists. We got to finish the story. Anyway.
I feel like also Elphaba's character was, and her singing was better than I expected. And Ariana Grande was fine, but she was a little bit less than I was expecting. It's still really, really good, but I don't know. The thing about that seems like, and she can belt and she can sing well, but I just feel like maybe her character model and size and everything, I just feel like it just didn't hit as much as the other people that were singing.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I thought the dance scenes, the choreography was really tight. I really enjoyed that. But like I said, I just, it's just a turnoff for me. If I get any whiff that a movie is going to be a musical in the future, like there's
Why
one,
are the old ones not? I bet if we compare how many
don't know.
songs are involved, they're probably similar.
Think of it this way. Back then, musicals were very popular. In fact, movies and TV shows were all about dances and singing and stuff. So you kind of get on board with that nostalgia. And I grew up on that show. I mean, I watched it every year for probably the first 12 years of my life. So I mean, it's something I've always want to watch, and I always feel good when I watch it. But the remakes they're just not doing it for me, man. Sorry. Yeah. We'll just agree to disagree on that one.
The Wizard of Oz has 26 songs in it.
Okay. So. I get your point. But it's a nostalgia factor, I guess, but I can tolerate the music.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I don't know. I just, I don't know. I can't explain it. It's just, we go to movies to see, a movie. If we want to go watch a play, we go Broadway or go to the Dr. Phillips Center or wherever in Orlando to watch a play. But
see, movies can do some plays even better than plays can.
Yeah,
and I think this is a good example of
cinematography. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. As long as they do the music good still. Now, there has been times. So I've really enjoyed also the Phantom of the Opera movie that came out of that musical. They did a good job there.
Yeah.
Les Miserables did an amazing job, the movie version. But some don't do a good job, the movie version, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, no, that's fair.
Yeah, we'll just agree.
Let us know what you think, people. Everyone, DM Gator that he's wrong.
Yeah, DM me. That's all right. I'm good. I'm just a serious guy, I guess. I don't know. We were walking out of the theater and we saw my wife and I were like, we're going to the car. We just watched the movie. Look at the wind blow the leaves across the, we're just describing everything that's happening in front of us in song. And that's just the way we feel. So don't meme that. Okay. Thank you.
Probably shouldn't have gone in the first place then.
I had to see though. But I tell you another movie I did see with my parents last Sunday. I did see Gladiator 2. And it's it's Ridley Scott's follow-up to the original Gladiator. I mean, it's hard to imagine this guy is older than my dad. He's 80 years old. I mean, I've always loved his Alien movies, and the original Gladiator is still one of my top 10 of all time movies. This movie picks up 20 years later after the original Gladiator movie with Maximus, which was Russell Crowe. And it turns out that the new starring Gladiator, which Paul Mescal plays a great job, is Maximus's illegitimate son from, if you remember the original movie, the sister of the once alive evil leader, Commodus, which was Joaquin Phoenix. It's his illegitimate son that they hid at the end of the first movie. And I got to say, after watching it with my parents this last weekend, the story was pretty lackluster compared to the original movie. Denzel Washington never disappoints. He's an up and coming citizen who's trying to get a power grab, and he's using, Paul Mescal as like his instrument. He's gonna get him in favor with the leaders, and he does. He moves up ends up being a very powerful spot. But the final death scene with Denzel Washington, spoiler alert, yeah, that part was kind of disappointing. But Ridley Scott, he never lets that get in the way with all the grand scenes, the excellent cinematography he always brings into the. I mean, that alone makes it such a great movie. I mean, if you come to watch the blood and guts and the killer kick-ass scenes, you're going to be happy with this movie. But compared to the first film, which put this whole series on the map, I was less impressed. Rotten Tomato, the critics gave it a 71% certified fresh. It got 80% from the original, by the way. That's any indication. The audience gave it 82%, but I'm a little more harsh on this one. I give it 3.25 stars. It's okay, teetering on good, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So, anything else you've been watching this week?
No, that's it for me. I looked at another trailer recently for Gladiator 2, and I decided to put it down my list a little bit because I was kind of worried. And then I was excited to see the Y2K movie. Yeah. But this is one of the first A24 movies in a long time that has pretty mediocre reviews. And so now I might wait for Y2K on streaming.
Yeah, Y2K, I saw the previews for it. I don't know. It's down there on my list like you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was... I don't know. It was, Zombie says, I'm not a fan of musicals, but Sweeney Todd was good. And Corpse is like, I like a well-composed rock opera. Yeah, I mean, I get it. It just didn't. I don't know. I guess I got exactly what I expected from Wicked, so, yeah.
And I dare all you people to watch it and see if you're part of the 5% that doesn't like it.
Yeah, yeah. Are you a crotchety old man like me? You, too, can be a crotchety old man like me. I did get the updated patch this week from Bungie. I was looking forward to jumping into the Dawning event from Destiny 2, but I was inundated with tweets from Bungie Help with all kinds of bugs and glitches going on in the first few hours of the event. I was seeing all this at work, and I was contemplating waiting a day for Bungie to kind of resolve all these issues. But I decided to jump in Tuesday night. Knock on wood, I never really had any game-breaking bugs. I was hearing about problems with weapon focusing not working correctly, quests not showing or completing right, free event cards for those who logged in at reset. I guess they got to keep them. I think we're starting to feel the repercussions of laying off the vital quality control staff and testers from Bungie. I used to brag to others that with all the buggy games out there today, Destiny has really not had too many game-breaking bugs. And I know all games have minor stuff here and there, and Bungie's no different, but they never really had anything that would bring the game to a halt. But wow, I've never seen so many tweets from Bungie Help that day. I mean, I think even DMG tweeted out something about all this, didn't they, Mike?
Yes.
Let me see.
Yeah. Do you want to read that right now?
Sure. Let's go ahead and go over it here. Let me pull it up here. I got his tweet. I'm pulling it up.
They did fix a lot of the issues, but there's still a fair amount of issues that people are still talking about in the Discord even today.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting how things are right now. But yeah, I'm ready to read this if you are.
Go for it. I got to put it up on screen.
Tweet from DMG, and this was yesterday or so, based on when we were recording this.
Yeah.
He says, "Hey all, not gonna lie, it's been a rough couple of days. The Dawning didn't kick off on the high note that we intended it to. We always want our end of the year event to bring joy, relaxation, and loot to Destiny 2 during the quieter weeks of the year. This year, we're fully aware that we've missed the quality bar during the start of the event. It's an absolute bummer that many of these bugs shipped. And as you've seen, the team is hard at work addressing the problems and unblocking you from the rewards you're hunting for. They're eager to get things back on track so you can bake some goods for your favorite vendors as we head into the new year without worry. Overall, we're fully aware of the general conversation around bugs and quality, whether it be around the dawning, episodic content, general Destiny 2 activities, or other. We're continuing to assess how our development process can result in gameplay issues. Your feedback is felt when we play the game, it's felt when we're discussing issues in our triage sessions, and it's felt when we're talking through high-level strategies for Destiny and our future all up. Where are we now? Where are we going? What are our priorities? And where do we want to be? While we're going into a holiday period, we have work on our plate to reinvigorate the desire to play Destiny. We'll need to re-earn your trust, not just for our future, but our studio as a whole. We have work to do, we always do, and we'll always strive to do our best for our studio and for you, our community. You know, I didn't catch this the first time, but it really hit me. We need to re-earn your trust, not just for our future, but our studio as a whole. It almost sounds like he's saying, like, internally, they have some trust too. They also need to work on.
Yeah, it's been so apparent, Mike. The last month, it's just night and day difference. I'm the game breaking bugs. I mean, I don't even think we can do shit's broken anymore at the end of the show. I think we're gonna have to point out a few things to actually let people know that they're working on it, which we'll do tonight. But yeah, I just want to bring that up because when I was like I said, knock on wood, I really didn't have any big problems. Getting things done with the event card. I need to bake some more cookies to get a few more kills with solar arc and strand weapons. And of course, the bottleneck will be completing those Vanguard strikes and Crucible activities. I also need to upgrade 2 more snowballs, but then I'm done. So I should have it all wrapped up by next week. I'm out of town the week after Christmas, so I don't have the luxury of using all 3 weeks to get those emblems and focus weapons. So I'm in grind mode right now. My recommendation, by the way, if you're soloing the event and trying to get that ever elusive Essence of Dawning, which seems to be the one currency you never seem to have enough of, but need to make those cookies with, is to farm any lost sector. And while you're at it, complete the planetary, the gunsmith, the dawning bounties, all at the same time, just by running solo regular lost sectors, and you'll get 3 essence per run, which should take you about a minute. If you're farming hardcore, I mean, I'm taking my time. I'm getting all kinds of different things done at the same time. I'm even farming glimmer. I'm kind of doing a little bit of everything. You'll also get 2 essence for any patrol you complete. You'll get 5 essence if you run a heroic public event, but just running those lost sectors will probably be the most efficient way to get it done. Just some tips to help you out. If you're short on time and you have 30 minutes to jump in and do something, I tend to like the EDZ. Those tend to be a little easier. I did get the new Dawning Dragon ornaments for my Warlock, and I'll probably complete the sets, hopefully, with Bright Dust farming with those repeatable bounties for my Hunter and Titan characters as well. I use the mobile app to keep picking them up as I complete them. Remember, you only need to make the cookie to complete the Bright Dust bounty. So just keep storing all the cookies up as you're buying the bounties. But once you complete them, turn them in, get your XP and your Bright Dust, which is, it's 10 Bright Dust. I know it's not a lot, but when it doesn't take long, once you get the materials, and you'll get all the materials, different materials for making the cookies from killing different kinds of enemies. Like Cabal oil will come from Cabal. You'll get ether stuff from killing Fallen, and you can go over to the Dreaming City if you need to kill the other 2, the Taken or the, what's that one? Scorn, the Scorn enemies. I always think they're kind of like Fallen enemies, but yeah, I mean, like I said, you can even glimmer farm running the lost sectors on Dreaming City, which if you have the right ghost mod, you can get like 7,500 glimmer for 1 run. It does cap you out, so you'll have to rotate to the other ones on the planet if you are farming that way as well. But make sure you put this on your ghost. You need to have your Wombo detector on and your Bountiful Harvest mod to maximize your glimmer farms if you're running around getting those material nodes and chests. And you'll be able to see chest and material nodes within 75 meters if you have that Wombo detector on. So I just want to make you guys aware of that. But other than that, that's been my week, man. It's been grinding the dawning. That has been everything. So
Not me.
I know. I kind of don't blame you, but I really like that armor. I put that super black on my new dragon armor, and I look like death when I come flying in. It's pretty cool, man. I like it. I think it looks good on the Titan and Hunter too. So I'm gonna do what I need to do to get it done before I leave town after Christmas. So yeah, it'll be pretty cool. Did you want to, let's see how much time we got here. Let me see where our guys are here.
I mean, I can spend 1 minute talking about, in addition to the DMG thing.
Sure. Oh yeah, please. Let's go ahead and mention that. Go ahead and mention it. You had another event happen this week in Destiny.
Another event. Well, what I was going to go with real quick was, talking about the QA bugs with with what DMG said and stuff. Well, actually, I guess it could be another topic. I'm sorry if we were saving this, but like QA in general. I was just going to say real quick, like people have been having the discussion in the Discord about, like we're seeing now that when you don't have the QA testers as much, these things are happening. So I feel like studios really do not think big pictures. You think these execs, they can think big pictures, right? But it seems easy if you need to fire people, fire the main developer, or sorry, fire the QA people, because you need main developers, or else if you fire those a lot, then the game's going to be pushed back some.
Yeah.
But just think it through, people, because let's say, it comes out with all these bugs, and some bugs get fixed this next day. Other bugs take a month to fix, right? Well, wouldn't you just been better off having then maybe less developers, so it's delayed a month anyways, keep the QA people, and then it gets delayed a month, but then at least it's ready, instead of we have to wait a month for these bugs to get fixed anyways. So that's just my little 2 cents on that. Yeah,
I get it. And like I said, it's just been so much more noticeable this last month. And I used to think Bungie was just solid when it came to running their game. I really never had any issues playing Destiny. And it just seems like we're running into more things now. And I mean, even as I say that, it didn't really affect me. And I think people in the Discord were like, I've been farming all day, haven't any issues. I think Jimmy Rayner said that.
No, it did affect a lot of people in the Discord, though. So yeah, that's why we also have to not think just because it doesn't affect me doesn't mean it's not a big deal. I promise, if you look at the community in general,
right.
I know people are going to say, no, don't talk about Reddit because people just complain. No, it's not just that. And even other sources and other podcasts and other streamers and people in our community, some of the biggest things that still seems to be an issue today is if you swap characters, you can lose progress.
That's not right.
If you're having a really hard time getting perfect taste, and Bungie has fixed this year after year. And once again, this year it's hard to get again. So it's like, I really shake my head then, because me, I'm like, maybe I would hop in the dawning if they made it new this year. But if they're not making it new, why can't they fix the bugs that have been around for several years?
I mean, that was a bug from last year. I mean, come on,
No, more than last year. It's been a couple years.
It's like every time people aren't getting a certain material. I know. Yeah. I've gotten a perfect taste, but it doesn't fall. Perfect taste is from Melees, right? I think it's Melees.
I thought someone was saying it was like precision shots with certain weapons.
Okay. I've been getting it. I've been getting them. I mean, I don't get them as quick as the other things, but I've been getting. I do have them because I've crafted all the cookies that I need to craft or bake. So I'm not sure. Yeah. We got about 10 minutes until we bring on the guys for the showdown. Do you want to talk about the highlights of the Game Awards tomorrow, or that we watched last night?
That was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, Black Myth Wukong, best action game. That was surprising to me to start off the bat. I just got some highlights here. You just want to go back and forth on highlights, things you found in the show?
Yeah, and I'll fill in anything at the end.
The symphonic chorus interlude at the beginning was just gorgeous. I mean, that I love that symphonic whatever band or symphonic chorus or whatever you want to call it. It was beautiful. Harrison Ford shows up to announce the best voice actor. That was cool. You could tell. I mean, he was there to get his $100,000 so he can go, but but it was cool that he showed up. There was a guy named Amir who got a Game Changer Award for all his humanitarian efforts. This guy, for pro bono, made a site that actually finds jobs for devs that have been laid off in the gaming industry, and he finds jobs for them. I think he's like gotten like 5,000 people jobs. That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
So, what else? What else did you find last night?
Snoop Dogg was performing. I just want to mention real quick too, like I'd never watched any of these before, and they did put, this is their 10th anniversary, so they talked about the production was up this year, but this was like watching the Golden Globes or something. It was, the production was off the charts for a video game award show.
Very good. It was Emmy quality. I mean, it was very high production, and you know, he's getting more money now. He's getting more backers. And hell, he even got emotional at it being the 10th year anniversary of the Game Awards, and I've watched it every year. It's like my E3 now. I always love the award. I like the award, you know, movie awards. I like the Game Awards too. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Even though it's, you know, it's not quite as impactful to me as like the Oscars, but you know, I love gaming, and it was really cool to see people get their due, you know?
Yeah, sure. You want to talk about Balatro, won a bunch of things.
Yes, I was jumping up and down. I mean, I can't explain why Balatro is so good. And it's hard to believe. There's this one developer who made this game, and he didn't even show up. He's like he's like this elusive character who doesn't want to. Yeah, he's like a recluse. He doesn't want to get any credit. He just wants to make his games. And yeah, I mean, what a game, man. I can't explain it. It's just, I think I got like my highest score on a Nebula deck the other night. I think it was like 20 million or something. And when you hit it just right with all your modifiers and stuff, and you get 3 million chips in one hand, it's like, it just, dude, it just, the dopamine's flowing, man. It's just a fun game to just put up and, you know, play for 30 minutes and then put it away and go do something else. It's just really nice. The Borderlands 4 trailer, what'd you think of that, man? That was last night.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I love Borderlands. I'm really impressed. I'm looking forward to Borderlands 4. First of all, 2025 is going to be a great year. Most of these games are scheduled for 2025. Some will come out later.
Frontiers coming out. I mean, we got a lot coming in 2025.
Yeah. Borderlands 4, another game that looks similar with humor, Outer Worlds 2. I'm really excited for that.
I didn't play the first one, but yeah, I don't know. I never really got it, but it looks like they really improved the game from the first one, from what I heard.
Production I'm also really excited for Split Fiction. That's by the game studio that makes It Takes Two.
I saw that.
An amazing game that won the award in 2021. Yeah. And this is just a newer, better graphic version of a 2-player co-op game.
Yeah.
And then last, I mean, there's so many good trailers, but like I can only list a few here for sake of time. And then I'm really interested, the one they saved at the end. Naughty Dog has a game called Intergalactic that just came out of nowhere. This looks amazing.
I mean, space bounty hunters, come on, man.
Yeah, and a Porsche ship flying around.
I immediately said, you know, when he said there's one more thing we got to talk about at the end there, and I said it's going to be GTA 6. No doubt.
Everyone thought it was.
And I saw the Porsche. I'm like, okay, GTA in space. Okay, Porsche. Okay. And then I was blown away. I didn't expect any of that. Yeah, I was impressed. That's Naughty Dog, man. I mean, I've been playing their games forever, ever since PlayStation 1. So, and I think that's a PlayStation exclusive.
It is at first, yeah. Well, or maybe for good, I don't know. But yeah, it is a PlayStation exclusive. I mean, that's Naughty Dog. They've done that for a while with Uncharted and stuff. What do you think of the awards, real quick, for best ongoing and of course game of the year also?
I did want to mention too, Helldivers 2 got best multiplayer game. I was surprised there too. I thought Call of Duty
ongoing, or was it multiplayer also?
No, it got best multiplayer game too. I thought Warhammer or Call of Duty Black Ops 6 would get it because Call of Duty is on point this year. Their zombie games is fantastic, and the omnidirectional movement and multiplayer is really refreshing for me. As far as the best ongoing game, it wasn't Destiny 2. Spoiler alert. I mean, I think after Final Shape, I think they had earned it. But Helldivers 2, yeah. I
have to disagree. Okay, remember, ongoing means more than just DLC. It means all the stuff on the other times too.
But here's the mic drop. I think neither of those should have gotten it. And this game wasn't even nominated for best ongoing game. And I think I really think No Man's Sky should have been best ongoing game.
I do
That,
too. Or Fortnite, even though I don't care about the game, it makes more logical sense
yeah,
than Helldivers 2 or Destiny.
yeah. But I mean, I think they got, I think they won for, no, they were nominated for best supporting game. I think it was best supporting game. Who ended up winning that?
For
Best game support, I think they called it. It
let's
wasn't.
see.
I know No Man's Sky was nominated, but I don't think they won it.
Community
Best.
support Baldur's Gate 3.
That was it. That was it. Community
Yeah,
support. Yeah, I was
yeah.
surprised with that. I think. Well, anyway. Best adaptation, Fallout. Absolutely, season 2 is coming. It's just sad that they don't have a new Fallout game to coincide with that. They really missed the boat on that. Best music, Final Fantasy. I can see that. Best independent game, Balatro. Best mobile, Balatro. I mean, I think they won 3 awards that night. That's amazing.
3, yeah.
I was very happy. Yeah. Player's voice. I guess that's where the players vote. Black Myth Wukong. Best narrative, Metaphor ReFantasio. I got to play this game. I got the demo on PlayStation 5 Pro, and I am going to definitely play this. I know it's anime style game. I'm not a big fan of that, but it just looks good. It looks really good. So, game of the year, Astrobot. I really thought Black Myth Wukong would have gotten it because it seemed like they had so much momentum that night. But Astrobot, what do you think? Astrobot.
I guess I know. I almost feel like, and I know this isn't the case, but I almost feel like, did Sony sponsor something here? What's
Yeah,
going on?
exactly. I mean,
It looks like a really cool game, but like
yeah,
I just don't understand why it would be a game of the year.
they did win best family game too, which that made sense. And
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I thought Astrobot was very bright, very on the it's an enhanced game. It's on the PS5 Pro. It was very cool to play, but this is something I'm going to play with my grandson when he's old enough. For me, I was just, you know me, man, I'm a shooter guy. So it was hard for me I played for like an hour and a half, I think when I first got it. So, I mean, it was very bright, very crisp, super, super good graphics, super bright and airy, but I don't know about game of the year, man. There's a lot of competition this year for game of the year. Anyway.
But out of the list, probably it should have been Elden Ring, or
Yeah.
maybe Black Myth, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I tell you, the one thing I loved about the Intergalactic 2, I wrote a note here. I love the 80s references, the CD-ROMs, the CD drives, and Trent Reznor's going to do the soundtrack to this game. I'm really looking forward to this. You know, it's not going to be till way, probably 2026, 2027, you think, when that comes out?
Oh yeah, probably.
It's definitely a sneak.
They did announce a lot of games for 2025, but yeah, that one I don't think they set a date, so it's probably going to be 2026 or something.
And I saw the Pal World reviews. I know it got nominated, but I'm sorry, Native. I don't understand Pal World. I don't understand why it's so popular. Just can't get into that game. Project Century looked fantastic. I don't know what that's going to be exactly. 21 Pilots. How about that collab that they did with the Arcane soundtrack? I went right to Spotify and downloaded those songs because
yeah, good stuff there.
What great. I got to watch Arcane season 2. It's on my list. I just haven't had a chance to do it yet. Anything else? I think we covered everything.
No, it was a good show. I mean, I was texting you some during it. And
you were.
Behind, so I didn't want to spoil the Belatra stuff for you.
I was watching. Well, I had to. I was eating dinner with my wife when it came on, and I was about an hour behind you. So, yeah. When you said, "Do you want me to tell you about Belatra?" I'm like, "Okay, they won something," because otherwise you wouldn't have mentioned it. But
I could no. See, I try to be fair. I just said, "Do you want me to give you news about Belatra?" Could have been they didn't win if they were in the category. But yeah, that's what I was thinking. But yeah.
All right. Well, it's time. We're gonna do our SpeedRun Showdown. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. So we'll do that right after this. All right. A little bit of housekeeping here, guys. We're gonna have to bring them into the call, which means I got to move some stuff around. So I'm going to throw up I'm just going to throw up a intermission screen here. And, for those of you in the chat, and we'll get everybody in here. I'm looking through the chat here. Yeah.
But the Game Awards did get more people interested in Balatro. I have like another little private chat group of friends. It's like a sub thing of TGH, and a lot of people that hadn't tried Balatro yet said they downloaded it last night to try it out,
Right.
and they enjoyed it too. I'm still like I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, but I can't see myself playing it too much because I play a card game for like a few minutes and then I just get bored.
You know what? I had Grenader Jake says, I never, you know me, I love my Destiny. There's never been any other game that's really drawn me. He says, but I can't put this effing game down. I get it. I totally get it.
No other game other than Destiny in his whole life?
Well, I mean, no, I mean, he's definitely a through and through. He loves playing Destiny, and he's like me in a lot of ways. So,
yeah.
I mean, he plays other games. He even plays sponsored games, but the fact that he says, I can't put this game down. It's amazing. Maybe it's the stat geeks.
Well,
in
I can.
I know. I like poker. I've always liked
Indiana Jones, though, I can't put down. I'm ready to start that up again after the show.
I get that, man. I get that. All right. I'm going to put this up, and we're going to go to an intermission chat real quick here, and then we'll bring in our guys. So hang in there. Just give me 1 second here. All right. Sorry, gang. Thanks for being patient there. We've got Deadpool 1 Merc will be our first contestant for tonight for the Speedrun Showdown. And I have a special list for you guys. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you, Jimmy. Just looking at chat here. Okay.
Oh, Sweaty's in the chat.
That's all right. It's a totally different list. He can cheat. He won't be able to. Yeah. All right. You ready? Here we go. 3, 2. All right. For tonight's Speedrun Showdown, Deadpool 1 Merc and Sweaty Spooks will each compete separately, and we'll get a custom list that will be different for each of them. And they will have 2 minutes, like they always do, to answer as many questions as they can. This list will be tricky, though, as it will not be like the original Speedrun. So think fast, try to get through the most you can. The answers must make sense and apply to the question. And I will ask the question whenever you stop speaking, your answer. Kingsleymac will be a witness tonight, just to verify. And I think we got a bunch of people in the chat, too, that will do it off as well. Be able to look at it. So are you ready, Deadpool 1 Merc?
Always ready.
Good luck.
2 minutes on the clock. I think I got the right. Yeah, radial. That's good enough. You'll be able to hear it. Let me make sure it's loud so you can hear it. And I'm going to be a little strict on this. So when that buzzer goes off, I'm cutting it. That's it. I'm cutting it. I'm not
Do
no
they
more.
get to finish that question, or it's cut?
If the alarm goes off, and I've already asked the question, they will get to answer the question.
Okay.
But that's it. All right, here we go. I gotta not mess up. I think there's more pressure on me than there's you guys. All right, here we go. I will start the clock when you answer your first question. Here we go. I gotta get a drink. My voice will crack in the middle of it. All right, you guys originally got 50 questions each. So we'll see how far you get tonight. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Warlock, Titan, or Hunter?
Hunter.
Favorite cartoon, past or present?
Tom and Jerry.
Who's your favorite NPC in Destiny 2?
Drifter.
Name your 2 top superpowers.
Healing factor and teleportation.
What's the first Destiny podcast you listened to?
GDC.
What would be your spirit animal?
Tiger.
What was your first music album?
Lincoln Park.
Where is your ideal vacation?
Hawaii.
What thing annoys you most?
People that don't understand things.
Favorite ice cream flavor?
Chocolate chip.
If you could take any one famous person to dinner, who would it be?
Ryan Reynolds.
What is your what is your favorite summer activity?
Driving my car.
Describe yourself in one word.
Awesome.
Do you have a tattoo?
Yes.
Who would play you in a movie of your life?
Ryan Reynolds.
What's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
Open my eyes.
What's the worst job you've ever had?
Fast food.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how cool are you?
10.
Favorite TV sitcom?
911.
What did you eat for breakfast today?
Nothing.
What's the best name for a pet?
Blaze.
What weapon do you use as an exotic?
Vex.
What armor slot do you use as an exotic?
Legs.
What is your favorite dinosaur?
T-Rex.
Name a Destiny strike.
I don't know one off the top of my head.
Favorite salty snack?
Crackers.
What's the best super ability?
Healing factor.
Favorite armor shader?
Super black.
What's the best super subclass in Destiny 2?
Stasis.
If you could choose, who would voice your ghost?
Ryan Reynolds.
If the Destiny universe was real, what planet would you visit first?
Io.
What's the best sandwich?
Ruben.
Are you an AMC A-list member?
No.
Are Guardians spoiled, or does Bungie spoil the players?
They spoiled the players.
I'm going to give you one more because I bumbled one really badly. If I do it with Sweaty, I will do it with you, with him as well. What is your favorite armor exotic in Destiny 2?
Armor exotic is going to be Stompies.
Okay. All right. Let me make a little mark here. All right. Okay. Thank you, sir. We will let you know.
All right.
All right. We'll bring in Sweaty Spooks next. See you, bud.
I see ya.
Let's see, how do I? What button do I press?
You
you-
should be able to kick me.
are you
You
able
should
to-
be able to kick me.
Gator doesn't know technology.
There we go. Are we still talking? Are we good? All right. I'm going to go to intermission, guys, and we'll be back with Sweaty Spooks. Give me 1 sec. Okay. So I'm going to go back to Kingsleymac. Sweaty Spooks. Come on, Sweaty. There he is. The buddy.
Oh, hello.
Yep.
Looking good. How you been? You doing
You
all
guys
right?
hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
I'm doing good.
Good deal. Good deal. All right. We just tested Deadpool. Now it's your turn. You'll get 2 minutes, just like he did. I need to, hold on. I need to make sure the cameras line up here real quick. This is regular show. Oh, it's already lined up. Perfect.
Are you gonna like tell it live?
Oh yeah, I'm
Are
gonna.
they
I'm
booking
gonna.
you back?
Yeah, I'm gonna. I'm gonna tell it live. What I can do is,
Yeah, how do you plan on doing that? Do you
you'll just have to be in, you'll just have to be in chat, because I won't be able to change the cameras. So we'll boot you from the call, Sweaty, and then look at him with his study glasses. We'll boot you from the call, and then you hopefully get the stream up. You'll be able to see who, or you can wait till the podcast comes out and see who wins. All right.
Don't make them wait.
No, I'm not gonna make them wait. All right. I think we got everything good here. Let's go back over to the regular show. Take that off. All right. Now we have Mr. Sweaty Spooks. And the cameras are all messed up, but you get the gist. Kingsleymac is not the speedrun contestant. That's going to be Sweaty Spooks up there at the top right of your screen. It's
People
okay.
watching that ignore the titles.
Just ignore the titles. I had to do this on the fly, gang. So yeah. Deadpool did pretty good. He did pretty good. This is not going to be your normal list, so keep that in mind. I'm sure you heard a little bit in the stream that it's not going to be the same list. And yeah, you'll have 2 minutes, Sweaty. You ready to go, man?
Let's rock this.
If I bumble any question, I will give you one extra question like I did with Deadpool.
Okay.
All right, here we go. I will start the clock when you answer your first question. Here we go. Cody's in here typing your name out in chat.
Don't distract him.
I'm not. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Warlock, Titan, or Hunter?
Hunter.
What do you wear when you're home alone?
Pajamas.
Who's your favorite NPC in Destiny 2?
Cade.
Most kills with a sweet business without a reload.
Yes. 1,000.
What is your favorite breakfast cereal?
Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
What's your favorite accent?
Australian.
What's your motto?
Appreciate you.
Favorite ramen flavor?
Chicken.
What one thing would you take if your house was on fire?
Toilet paper.
What color's your toothbrush?
Black.
If you could live in any decade, which would it be?
20th century.
What is your favorite winter activity?
Skiing.
Describe yourself in one word.
Kind.
Do you have a tattoo?
Yep.
What would be your superpower?
Flying.
What's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
Grunt.
What's the worst job you've ever had?
Busboy.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how cool are you?
2.
What's your favorite Halloween costume?
Jack Skellington.
What did you eat for breakfast today?
Coffee, cigarettes.
Name your favorite restaurant.
Michael's Pizza.
What weapon do you use as an exotic?
Black Talon.
What armor slot do you use as an exotic?
Legs.
What was your first music album?
Iron Maiden. Forget the name.
Name a Destiny strike.
Can't.
Favorite salty snack.
Chips.
What's your best super ability?
Golden Gun.
Favorite armor shader.
Callus is selected.
What's the best subclass in Destiny 2?
Void.
If you could choose, who would voice your ghost?
Chris
If
Pratt.
the Destiny universe was real, what planet would you visit first?
Definitely Io.
What's the best sandwich?
Ham cheese.
Are you an AMC A-list member?
Negative.
Are now Guardians spoiled, or does Bungie spoil the players?
It's a two-way relationship.
What's your favorite armor exotic in Destiny 2?
Stompies.
I need your help on this, Kingsley.
Yeah.
Does he get an extra question?
Probably, but this is a rough one because do you see what I'm seeing with the counts?
I see it.
But I think he does deserve an extra question because he
Yeah.
did bumble a little bit.
I think I did.
Yeah. Don't
All
get
right.
mad at us, people.
All right, next
'Cause
question.
Gator did bumble fairly on both, so
I did the best I could. What is the most used app on your phone?
Discord.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Appreciate
Thank you
you.
for having me.
Appreciate you, sir.
And best of luck to Deadpool. Looking forward to participating with you and to watching the results.
Hell yeah.
GG's, everybody. And for the guys out there, the Moist Boys were here.
Appreciate you, brother. Thanks, man.
Cheers, everybody.
Take care,
Cheers.
Sonny.
Excellent. Looking good. No audio yet. I think that. Do you mean to have no audio yet, Todd?
Now we're right. I turned off studio mode, and I don't know why, but all right. Thank you guys. That was sorry, I had to change some stuff on the fly. So you guys should hear us now. I had my mic muted, but you should be able to hear you should be able to hear both of us. Yeah. Okay. I'm getting this stuff down, guys. Yeah. I'm getting it down. Me and Kingsley and I both conferred, and I think we're in agreement that
it was close.
Yeah, Deadpool 1 Merc answered 35 questions, but he could not name a strike, so we had to deduct. So that's 34 questions answered. Sweaty Spooks answered 36 questions, and we had to deduct one because he couldn't name a strike. So officially, and Kingsley confers, this year's 2024 Speedrun champion is Mr. Sweaty Spooks. Congrats, bud.
Congratulations, man. And congratulations to both. Seriously, that was close.
They both
we
did a
were
great
worried
job.
it was going to be a tie.
I'm actually going to alter the Speedrun next year. I'm not going to announce it right now, but just letting you know, this is probably the last time that we'll do it this way. So just letting you know. So Mr. Sweaty Spooks, congratulations. Appreciate you, sir. And great job for both you guys. Deadpool, yeah, great job, man. I mean, it was that close. I mean, there's a reason you guys were tied at 50 because you both answer your questions really quickly. So, congrats to both of you guys. You're both, by the way, since you were tied, you're both going to get a prize. So exactly allocate.
Learn the strikes.
Exactly. Learn the strikes. But here's my point. If we can't remember the name of strikes, doesn't that kind of tell you something? That the strikes really are forgettable? Just saying.
Does a little bit, but
just
I think people would have the same issues with raids too, potentially, if they don't raid a lot.
I guess so. But strikes are like part of the activities that you do in the game. But I'll be honest, when I put that question in tonight, I was a little worried that no one would be able to answer that question, and I was right. So I know Deadpool. I couldn't think of one either when I was putting the question in there.
I know even I would have to think about it for a split second.
Sepix?
I might have said fast too, because the timing, you got to go fast. You got to tell it fast.
I think Sepix, was that considered a strike? The original Destiny? It's not the name of the strike. See what I mean? Yeah.
I don't think it is.
Sorry, guys.
What is the name of that one?
Yeah.
Anyways.
It's me. Dude, my brain's already melted right now. Thank you guys both. Thank you both. That was really cool to do. I was looking forward to that tonight. So, all right. That means it's time for This Week in Destiny. Be right back. All right, chat. We've got, I'm going to bring Mr. Kingsleymac into the screen as well this time. Let me just make sure it looks right when I do this.
I'm here.
Just pulling it up here to make sure it looks right. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been crazy if it was a tie again. I don't know what we would have done then.
I made 50 questions, and if they both got to 50, I was going to make them both co-champions. But man, that was close. That was a lot of fun, though. That was a lot of fun. I've got a different way I'm going to do it next year, so I'm really eager to share it with you guys, but it won't be until 2025. So, okay, This Week in Destiny. Yes. All right,
yes.
You see it? Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay, we're talking about This Week in Destiny. So This Week in Destiny for 12/12/24, and I'm going to be honest, guys, it's pretty much fluff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, looking to 2025. We're going to talk about that afterwards. They talked about some balance updates that they're bringing for Act 3. The Adept Uzume RR4 is the Grandmaster Nightfall. They're going to bring the Adept Summoner into Trials of Osiris, and they're going to have 2 Crucible Lab modes coming up. I believe that is for next week. I think that's for next week. No, following December 24th. Yep. Mm-hmm. So just letting you know about that. Act 3 starts January 7th. That is going to fly by. That'll be here before you know it. It really will. I mean, we basically have 3 weeks till the end of the year, right? Not even 3 weeks. It's going to fly by. They said Revenant Act 3 launches on January 7th. With it comes the conclusion of the Revenant storyline, as well as a new exotic mission. Looking forward to that. New weapons and one last row of artifact perks. We'll have more details as we get close to release, so keep an eye out and make sure you're following at Destiny the game for updates. The new dungeon, February 7th, 9 a.m. So they're probably going to have the dungeon race again. They'll have more details coming into the new year as well. So just let you know about that. Iron Banner, final 2 weeks. Iron Banner will return on January 14th. Those of you still looking for the roles for the fantastic, tenacious Mastery Rocket Sidearm will have another chance. Don't sleep on the reprised Archon Thunder either. Adept Prophet, Trials of Osiris, starting January 31st. Trials will return for one final night before episode Heresy starts. It will also be the last week. The Prophet will be available as a post-match reward. So if you're looking for more Adept roles, you know what needs to be done. Its regular version will still be available for focusing on Saint, though. Okay, now here's the thing I wanted to talk about. They're going to be doing some balance, weapon and armor balance updates for going into Act 3. And I'm going to read the first part here, and then we're just going to go down the line here and see if anything that appeals to us here. Let me make sure I got the chat pulled up here. Yeah. There we go. All right. It says with the launch of Revenant Act 3, we'll have a slew of additional armor and weapons balance updates planned for the following week on January 14th. The bulk of this update is aimed at addressing a couple overperforming weapon types in Crucible and then buffing a number of underperforming options as well. We focus on some measured changes to bring up a handful of primary ammo, close quarter combat options in heavy burst sidearms, rapid fire auto rifles, and SMGs. Then we wanted to increase the viability of a couple medium range options with lightweight pulse rifles. Okay. And precision hand cannons while shuffling the medium long range window with targeted nerfs to high impact pulse rifles and Graviton Lance. Enjoy it, boys. Enjoy it while you can. You got a few weeks left. A reversion to lightweight scout rifles that moves them back to a level of forgiveness they lost with Into the Light, and a small buff to the flinch taken by snipers. Yeah, I don't think snipers are there yet. I think the flinch is still too crazy on it. I tried it the other day and it's still really, really heavy. Now there is a new perk they added called, it's like an anti-flinch perk you can put on as your weapon mod, Kingsley. And I did try it in PvE, and I did notice on my sniper rifle that it did significantly reduce flinch in PvE. I haven't tried it yet in PvP, so I'll let you know about that. So sidearms, heavy burst. We preemptively nerfed heavy burst sidearms before we made Destiny 2 Into the Light sandbox changes because they had one of the most forgiving body shot times to kill in the game. We have not walked back those changes entirely, as this goes against the spirit of the current PvP sandbox, but we do feel that increasing the strength of some close range primary weapons is a worthwhile endeavor given the relative power of other close range engagement options. So they increased the body shot damage from 30 to 33, increased the critical hit damage from 48 to 52.8. This is good news for me because I hate shotguns. Let me repeat. I hate shotguns in PvP. I can't stand them. And my only way to fight back on shotguns is my sidearm. So I'm going to try this. I'm going to try the heavy burst. I do like the heavy burst. I do have a few of them. I think the trials, I want to say the trials, heavy burst is one of them. Let's see. I think, heavy burst. No, that's a hockey breach. I'm trying to see if I have it here. I'm looking through all my sidearms. Yes, I love sidearms. It's probably going to be an energy weapon. Let's see here. Sidearms. Heavy burst is going to be, it's like Forsaken came out. It's like a 2-shot. It's like a ta-dun, ta-dun, ta-dun. Here's a heavy burst. The brass attacks. This is an older version, but you get my point. It's a ta-dat, 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 ta-dat. It's like a heavy burst pulse rifle, Kingsley. It's a 2-shot, and you can spam them and they still do pretty good damage. So anyway, so they're going to be buffing that a little bit. Submachine guns. Submachine guns are generally struggling in both high-end PvE and PvP, while combining some resilient enemies is making their small magazines feel overly punishing. We're bringing their magazine sizes up a small amount globally, and will also be slightly increasing their damage versus minor combatants and heresy. So they're increasing the magazine size by 10%. What do you think about this, Kingsley? Do you use machine guns, submachine guns?
Well, there's been times where I've used them in PvE, but I've never expected them to be amazing in high-end PvE. So I don't think most of us really care in high-end PvE for them to be amazing. I would rather probably use a sidearm, actually, than a submachine gun.
What?
In high-end PvE. But that being said, they're fun. I used to always use the Recluse in Garden Raid and a few other spots, and
Yeah.
whatever. Having some more magazine, I guess, will help a little bit, but I don't know if it's going to be enough for a lot of people to really care that much.
This is my baby, the Ikelos SMG. I've definitely tried to use this in the Crucible, and it just doesn't compete against sidearms and shotguns. I don't think anything competes with shotguns. I don't know how do you fix shotguns in PvE, or PvP, excuse me. But I know this Ikelos SMG is really fun to use in PvE activities, especially if you have Volt shot on it and stuff. So, okay. Auto rifles, rapid fires, increase damage slightly to remove a resilience gate from their optimal time to kill. So they're increasing their body shot damage from 13.5 to 13.6. Wow. Don't give us too much there, Bungie. Increase critical hit damage from 23 to 23.1. Are you kidding me? That wasn't even worth reading. Pulse rifles, high impacts. LC's rifle, guys. LC's rifle's probably going to take a hit here. I know a lot of people use it in PvP. I don't know how it's going to work.
Yeah, but these numbers are nothing either.
Yeah, 22, 20 point. All right, they're bringing them down slightly. Thank you for not making me read that. Lightweight pulses, though, they're increasing the body shot damage from 17 to 20 and the critical hit from 31 to 31.6. Moving on. Precision hand cannons.
Shot, I mean, that's a little bit there, but yeah, critical's
critical's like barely. Are you really going to feel that? 0.15? No, you're not going to feel that. Intrinsic hand cannon precision frame now reduces your ADS movement speed penalty by 10%. Okay. I don't use hand cannons. Lightweight scout rifles. For a brief period, we're buffing lightweight scouts to bring down their body shot time to kill, which is among the slowest in the game. Lightweights. Oh yeah. This is the Iron Banner one. Lightweights. We're talking about this one right here, because I tried using this, and if you have the right perks on it, it'll work really well. But I'm going through sorry, Kingsley, you have to watch this on the stream. This one right here. This is a lightweight. No, it's high impact. Lightweight. Okay. Well, that's not exactly what I thought. What is a lightweight? Let's see here. Oh, that's a precision frame as well. We're talking about, wow. Taraxipus. That's one of my favorite scout rifles. It's like a 200 round per minute. Okay. So, okay. 30. Wow. Body shot damage, 32 to 38. But they're not increasing the critical damage much. 64 to 64.6. In the Crucible, you're not going to notice that. Not really. But
the body shot you might, and it's already pretty high for critical. So that could be, see, I don't, PvP much. Right. I do have always been like pulse or scout, but now I would consider scout a lot more with this,
Yeah. I have to tell you, I love my Taraxipus. That's one of my favorite scout rifles. So I'm looking forward to this. Even I know it is Strand, but even in PvE, I can't wait to try that out. All right. Sniper rifles reduce the camera roll component of flinch against players by 20%. Okay. That is more noticeable. So I will test that and see how that works. Whisper of the Worm, reduce the camera roll component of flinch against players by 50%. You got to remember, Whisper of the Worm is a heavy slog of a sniper rifle to bring around. So against players, by the way, against players, keep that in mind. It's against players, not enemies. We'll see. Okay, we're going to have people bringing that into the Crucible. We'll see how it works. Weapon perks. Skulking Wolf, the Iron Banner Origin. We felt like the Iron Banner Origin perk could use an effect to make it worthwhile in PvE, and we think this edition is in line with the fantasy of the perk itself. The perk description string will be updated in a future release to reflect the new functionality. Now activates in PvE. It makes enemies slightly less accurate in targeting you when active. Wow, remember the Mana Core? You fly in the air and they decrease their accuracy.
Yeah.
Okay. Target lock. With the increased magazine sizes on SMGs, so they're removing the custom tuning to make the perk less effective on SMGs. So they're balancing here and there. Okay, here's the ones you guys aren't gonna want to hear. Jimmy Rayner, this is my baby. Also, yeah, I love the Taraxipus. I've got 3 of them with double column rolls from what event was that? The Guardian games. Yeah, I've got some killer rolls of that thing. Graviton Lance is arguably the strongest primary weapon in the game when viewed across both PvE and PvP. I love using it PvE because eliminating ads, there's nothing more fun than that. So they're reverting its RPM basically in a nutshell back to 300. So, man, I tell you what, that thing is so strong. I can't compete with my heavy burst in Crucible. If I'm using, say, one of my heavy burst Aisha's Care, This one has Headseeker Keep Away. I cannot compete with the Graviton Lance. It fires the same rate, but somehow it just hits harder. I can't compete with it in Crucible. I'm sorry, Kingsley.
And I always consider that a scout, even though it's technically a pulse, but it seems like a scout. Like how powerful it is.
I don't like the sight on the Graviton Lance. I never seem to line up my shots right. But anyway, so reverting the RPM back just for the Graviton Lance. Malfeasance, they're adding the remaining intrinsic effects from the Precision Hand Cannon perk, including accuracy bonuses and the new ADS movement, speed penalty reduction, because it's a precision. The airborne effectiveness was already baked in stats. Okay. Like I said, I'm not a hand cannon user, but there you go. Malfeasance is going to get a little bit of a help. Exotic armor, Stoicism, the spirit of Alpha Lupi. The healing impulse was tuned around Barricade, and this is what I use on my Titan, by the way, which has significantly less uptime than Thruster. Now that Alpha Lupi can work on Thruster, we needed to branch the effect strengths accordingly. So they're reducing the heal impulse when we're using Thruster to 30 hit points that can roll over into the shields. Yeah, so if you're going to use the class item, you're going to, they're leveling things out. So people have probably, I'm guessing, exploited this. So Bungie Store has a holiday ornament. There's some pins there, a whole tackle box full of them. Don't forget the skimmer skateboard.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. Whatever that is. This I had to mention this. This is a disc plate. This looks really, really good. Let me see if I can blow it up. This looks really good. That is something I would put in my office.
Mm-hmm.
That is beautiful. The artwork is amazing on that. So, the Dawning Fashion. These are some of the Dawning entries we had. Guardians Inc. This is the comparisons they made to it. This one is Snowboarding Santa. Okay. Celeste. Okay. Vanilla Flavored Traveler. I like that one. This Titan won't be cold. Okay. I mean, we have very, very creative people in the Destiny community. The Very Sweet Hunter. I don't know where you got this shader. This looks fantastic. This looks really good.
Oh, that is the Ron raid, I believe.
Is that the Ron raid? Oh yeah, that's
Pretty
right.
sure.
That's right. Man, that looks good. I gotta find that and try it out myself. They have some baking treats here too as well. This is the Captain Jacobson. No. And some more baking cookies here. Destiny cookies. This is what got me hungry. Man, that cake looks good, doesn't it? It's like a double chocolate cake of the Witness. Yeah, it looks good. Some hanging ornaments. Glimmer you can eat. Jeez. I was looks like fudge brownie, peanut butter fudge to me. And then I see. This is the Destiny cookbook. They're showing that they cooked them. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Really cool. Really cool. They talk about the Bungie Foundation, a look back at 2024, the Little Lights program, the scholarships for a brighter future, granting wishes that spark joy. They help make dreams come true for 50 plus Make-A-Wish kids, supporting humanitarian causes. I actually bought the Hurricane t-shirt. I think they said it'd be in soon. They're always, anytime there's a calamity, they are right there to raise funds to help with the Game to Give. So good on Bungie for that. And they have another fashion feedback survey, and I'm not going to go over this, but they've got different themes here, and I will let you go to the TWAB to look that over. Player support report, Kingsley. I have a feeling we need to at least talk about some stuff here. Do you mind if I pass it to you here?
Yeah, I mean,
anything that stands out?
The thing that stands out to me, and we already kind of knew this, they're planning the big release for Tonic fixes, part of Tonic Gate, where they weren't, giving you the weapons you wanted, and also like just it's not lasting long enough. Like why would we want to run these when some activities go much longer? And so they're going to increase the times and everything. But the thing is, like, they're doing this on December 17th, which is coming up from when you hear this, but then we only have a month and a half before the next episode.
Yeah.
We've talked about that more a little bit later, but
Yep.
month and a half. It's like, ugh, I get it, better late than never, but kind of sad. And I don't think this is going to make a huge difference for people because most people have already checked out on tonics. The people that do enjoy them and use them will appreciate this, I guess.
Right.
But I really don't see it bringing too many people back to the table.
And then we heard that people were using the focusing tonics, and we're getting the opposite of what they were trying to focus.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
It was all known issues, yeah.
I hate timers. As soon as I saw that the tonic only lasts for 20 minutes or 40 minutes or whatever it was, I was like, I'm out. I don't want to have to worry about putting new tonics on when I'm in Prison of Elders or Tomb of Elders. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to have some kind of timer, maybe like a couple hours or a day or anything, but like they were ridiculously low, and so those are going to be bumped up. That's the main thing I want to mention.
Okay.
Otherwise, there's lots of other shit broken.
Lots of shit broken. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah. Artist of the week, the Lord of the Seas. That's very beautiful. I love that exotic glaive. It's a heavy glaive. It's very pretty. Movie of the week. Yep, you can follow that too in the TWAB, bungie.net. That's everything we have for this week. This is our final TWAB of the week as we take a short break for the next few weeks to celebrate the holiday season. We'll be back next year with our first TWAB on January 9th. In the meantime, we'll be keeping an eye on everything, and you can still expect some posts from the team during that time. Make sure you're following at Destiny 2 Team and at Bungie Help accounts for updates. Oh yeah, they're on my notification. It's been an eventful year, including the release of the final shape and the 10th anniversary of Destiny. Through it all, we want to thank you for being a part of this wonderful community. Next year will be a big year, starting with episode Heresy and later with the launch of Codename Frontiers. No matter if you let yourself be swept up with a festive spirit or prefer a lower profile during this time of year, we wish you the best. I know that's Kingsley. And we can hope you spend tons of quality time with your family and your loved ones and that you'll have the greatest meals ever. Yeah, I'm already thinking about Christmas Eve dinner. Anyway, Destiny 2 community team. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, Destiny 2 community team. We love that you talk with us every week. Thank you for this very last TWAB of the year. But that brings us to probably the meat of our show, Kingsley. And we're talking about the future going into 2025 of Destiny 2. So we'll get into that right after my mandatory bathroom break. Be right back. All right. End of year developer update. Now, if you look at this, it's a very short article. That's it. But this article is jam-packed with stuff that Kingsley and I want to talk about. So what we'll do, Kingsley, is we'll go through each paragraph one at a time, and we'll just talk about what we want to share, each of our opinions on this part. You need to take a break or anything? You good?
I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'm good too.
Fine. If you need to, you're fine.
I'm good. No, I just say that. I just say that so I can throw a transition in the podcast. At the same time, I'm recording an audio version of the show and streaming live. So unfortunately, you guys get to see how things are run on the back end.
That's fun.
But yeah, let's go through chat here just real quick before we get into it here. Deadpool's like, I'm back. I'm coming back for the, let me get back to her.
Yeah.
Too fake. Yeah. No, what I was going to say is, pop up there. Dang it. Yeah. Deadpool's like, I'm going to try again for 2025. I hear you, brother. I hear you, man. Yeah. So, anything else in here we want to, Corpse D was saying exploited or just used effectively. Definitely sucked, in Crucible, but does the exotic hunter exotic that does health and shield bump. Yeah, I know what you mean. I use the chest piece for my Titan because there's not a whole lot that really gives you health as a Titan. And I just looked through all of my exotic armor and that's the one that just seemed to work for me. So that's the one I use as my Titan, but I'm pretty careless when I'm flying around punching stuff with my Titan normally. So, Okay. You all set there, Kingsley?
Yeah, I am good.
Let me get a good drink here. I ate a bagel today. I know. I didn't have oatmeal with it this time. Maybe that was my problem. But have you ever had a bagel that's just really has like a crusty outside? And as I was swallowing it, it actually, I could feel it. It kind of cut my throat a little bit. So my throat's been a little whacked this day.
Yeah, got to chew more before you swallow.
I was hungry, man, and I had to get to work.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. 2024 developer update. All right, here we go. We'll go back to the share screen. Here we go. 3, 2. All right, Kingsley, the end of the year 2024 developer update. And Robbie Stevens chimed in this time. He's the assistant game director of Destiny 2. And he says over the past few months, he's been sharing details about the future of Destiny 2 and the developer deep dives. The deep dives are all listed above in the TWAB. They have them all archived, so you can always go to them. And of course, the live streams that they put out. The Destiny 2 team is hard at work paving the way for Codename Frontiers. The new destination in Codename Apollo is content complete, which means we're focused on polishing the non-linear campaign Metrovania gameplay experience, developing the finer details of the world, and fleshing out the numerous quests that you'll discover during the journey through New Frontiers. So right off the bat, Kingsley, I think you hit the nail on the head, man. It looks like they're going to be out on schedule.
Yeah, I still think that's the case. Now, they haven't confirmed for sure. Maybe they're giving themselves a little bit of leeway just in case. They could still come back, in a month or two and say, oh, it'll be delayed like a month or two. But I think we're probably going to be on schedule.
Yeah.
Or if not, it'll be a very minor delay.
See, Destiny, Bungie's got to remember there's more and more competition every year for gaming. They've got to be on top of it. So,
but if they're on schedule, this will be like the first time in forever. Like I
time.
can't think of any time recently where it hasn't been delayed some. So pretty impressive. Really? Also, like, on the bigger topic, again, what I was saying earlier, I almost wish the episodes were worked on for another month or so because of all the bugs. But that doesn't mean Frontiers is going to have a lot of bugs, because I also feel like the team that works on this, and they obviously know, like they did the same thing with Final Shape. It's more important to have the big updates bug-free than the small ones. And so they've been able to drop the ball, fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to look at it, on the episodes.
Yeah. I've not been impressed. I mean, there's been high points for each episode. I love the last exotic mission was really good, but to make us run it so many times to progress the episodic storyline, I was like, no, that's probably the one episode I haven't finished yet, because I have to go in and run the exotic mission so many more times. I was like, I ran it. I got my exotic. I don't even know if I need the catalyst for it. I'll probably go back, but
Lightfall was the last time it probably wasn't delayed, and still a few years ago,
Well, I know the one time it wasn't delayed back in 2014 when it first came out.
Well,
just kidding. All right. They did say the core game, the portal, we talked about that in a lot of the developer updates. The activities, modifiers, and next generation gear that will be Destiny's new backbone are coming online. We're playtesting every week and have planned multiple summits in the coming months with members of the Destiny community to provide invaluable feedback and help us hone our executions. So Astrocross probably going to get the call, I'm sure, to go try it out. I just like the solo stuff. That got my attention. The fact that they're going to give us worthwhile rewards to do solo, and quick hit, solo little, what do you call it? Storylines or adventures or whatever it's going to be.
Yeah. Those, I forget what that thing was called now, the solo ops or whatever.
Solo
That's
ops.
what it was.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
Solo ops. That was it. Yeah.
What I like is there's something new, right? I want something new. I mean, they said they might go back to locations that we're familiar with, but they will truly be new little adventures. And think of it, it's much more involved than a Lost Sector, but probably like lighter than a Strike, somewhere kind of in between.
Yep.
And but they're going to be changing with the enemy AI. Remember, that will change along with you. So I'm really excited about that.
That does sound a lot of fun. That really does. And they did say they are hiring additional gameplay specialist positions, and the specialist sourced from our community will be in the trenches with the dev team playtesting the new core game progression and gameplay systems, as well as the Codename Apollo's campaign and post-game. Wow. These specialists provide us with the kind of perspective you can only get from dedicated players. Well, it said they will be going dark on Codename Frontiers Communications for a little bit because they got to test, they got to cook, they got to collect the feedback, and they'll come back with more details, I guess, once they get the playtesting done.
Yeah. Okay. I have a couple things on this. I start with the smaller one first. I mean, it's cool. It's fine. They said they're going to go dark for a while, but it's interesting too, because what does that mean? Because it seemed like they've been dropping information on Frontiers for quite a while. And yeah, we had a little bit of a break here since the last one, but I'm guessing February at the latest before we get more information on Frontiers. I don't know what you think. It makes sense that they have to go dark for a while also if they're going to be hiring these people and testing things, and there's no way they can spin that up too quickly. So hopefully we're not looking like March or April before we get more information, but maybe,
Yeah.
And also on the hiring, this is a very interesting topic to me.
Okay.
What's going on here? I mean, they just laid off a bunch of people, and I'm not upset. I'm glad that they're hiring people, but you get what I'm saying? Like, I just don't get it. They've been firing people. Oh, now we're hiring. Do they get some more money? Maybe they did some other things where they can just hire people? And what they're hiring sounds cool and all, gameplay specialists, and they come from the community. But this isn't a true QA position. It's close, but a true QA position is actually programmer specific too, where they understand the code, they look at that, and they can find bigger bugs before it goes to the play testers. And I still think those are important to have. Well, this is better than nothing. I looked at the list and I don't see them hiring any extra QA positions right now. All they're kind of hiring, I mean, they're hiring some other things too, but this is the main thing they're hiring right now. But these positions too are actually quite interesting. They are a full-time position, so you can't do something else if you want to do this.
So it's not like a limited contract where you're in for 3 months and they let you go?
Well, it is a limited contract, but it's full-time. You have to be available.
That's tough.
All day, 9 to 5.
That means they better pay. They better pay well.
Well, they do. Yeah, and also they said it's remote, so they'll pay you based on your state. But they gave an example of Seattle based for this job is around $75K. So I would imagine most other areas of the U.S., unless you're in New York or something, probably looking at like in the 40 range, I would guess. Maybe 50 if you're lucky.
Okay.
So,
I mean,
not bad.
It's not bad for working from home.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. What do you think about, they're hiring again already and these positions versus QA, or I don't know if you have any comments on that.
I do. I have a few thoughts. I think what's happening here is they've probably been outsourcing a lot of their QA to save money. And I think they're realizing that that's not working because these people don't know anything about the game. They don't know all the intricate details that we know. And I think they're making a course correction here. I'm thinking if they hire more people, they're probably going to let go some of the other positions that, those are usually, side contract stuff anyway. I have a feeling they'll probably let go of some of the outsourced testers, and maybe they're trying to mix more of Destiny community minded testers in, which they got to do, man. I mean,
they got to do that, but we got to have more QA also. And this will help. What this will do is it will find bugs before it gets to the public. However, it's not going to help with like small bugs that big population of the main people see. What these people that love it, they're just going to be used to doing their own things. They're not going to be doing like little baby steps that maybe like a new player will or something.
No.
And there will still be things that are missed. I guarantee without QA people that these playtesters will help some, but it's not the magic bullet. I just hope they hire some more QA people also.
If they're smart, they'd hire these people who find glitches under the maps and stuff. Those are the people you want to hire because they're going to look at every crack and crevice of the map and try to exploit it. And they'll probably let them go and say, hey, exploit it. Find something for us. And some of them may be a little, I don't know, maybe they might have an inner problem with that because they might want to exploit it when the game comes out. But with, there's a whole community around glitches and getting speed running stuff and doing things like that through glitches and stuff that are in the game. So I hope they hire people like that, because I know they're going to be very thorough. But here's the thing, Kingsley, you hire someone who doesn't know the game and all they're doing is just testing to make sure the gun aims at where it's supposed to go. They're missing so much, man. We played this game for a decade now. We know exactly what to start trying out as soon as this new content pops up. And there's no way outsourced testers are going to be able to know the little intricacies of Destiny that we've known all these years. So yeah, I think it's a good move. And I think they'll balance it out by letting go or maybe alleviating some of the outsourcing that they're doing.
QA people don't need to know the ins and outs of the game. It's still such a higher level thing. It's more like code. It's more like programming and stuff.
Oh, it's not like play testers?
No. That's why I'm saying you need QA. No, this is. But what I'm saying is, in your response to, you need QA people also.
Yes.
And I'm not saying I'm upset with this decision. It's a good decision, but I'm still kind of shaking my head. That's all I'm saying. Like, they're kind of like taking 2 steps forward, 1.5 steps back, or something like that. Like,
I agree. Yeah. I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. Yeah. Gameplay.
And it's a contract position. This is too. Yeah. I don't have any problem with contract positions. Contract this and contract the QA people, but I feel like people may be reading this like the game's going to be saved, no more bugs. Right. No, I promise. This is game breaking stuff. They'll find ways. You're right. Like, these people will find ways to fix getting out of the map. Like big stuff like, we don't like how the strikes layout is, or things like that. But actual bugs like that you can't really always, because also the other things, what QA people will do is they will be in a different scenario. Like, they will have a pretend thing that the game is live and then look for errors where like a tonic gives a wrong code, an error code when they're testing something.
Right.
And they don't even have to necessarily play the game. But without those people, the play testers, they're in a different sandbox of the game. And so they may not actually be bumping up against some of the bugs that the QA people would.
I see what you're getting at now. Okay. Yeah. Play testers totally different. I get you. And they're talking about play testers here. They're not talking about QA. So yeah, I understand your point now. Sorry. I'm a little naive when it comes to the intricacies of development, but yeah, you gotta have the coders, man. You gotta have the people who are going in there and trying to crash things purposely, making sure things are responding to the code.
Yeah, that's actually kind of what you do. You run simulations, you run tests to get things to crash and to find errors in the code and stuff. And you definitely want player testers too. I'm not saying they shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
Again, I'm at first I guess I'll take back my position a little bit, shaking my head with the money thing. Since these are contract people, you can get away with it more than an actual person who's permanent. You know what I mean? But
I got you. Yeah. They're not a permanent part of the staff.
They're not. I mean, they could be down the road, but they're not for this position. Yeah.
That's usually how they hire within too. Probably, I'm guessing, is they see a play tester, someone who really jives with the staff and really is doing a great job, and they might opt to renew their contract and bring them in. Yeah, that's kind of how business works. They have to kind of prove themselves first up front.
Mm-hmm. We also found it interesting how it's a full-time position. So don't just think people like, oh, you work half-time during the day, or you're just like a part-time streamer and you want to do this job. No, this is, even though it's contracted, it is a full-time position. It says you have to be available full-time during the day.
Yeah. They did mention they're going to have multiple summits. So that means they're going to bring in the Aster Crosses and Grenadier Jakes and bring them in there and have them run stuff and see what they think. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the next point. Were you all set on that?
Yep.
Okay. Breaking Bones. Destiny has a long history of reinventing itself in response to community feedback and the expectations of players. Our North Star, however, remains unchanged. We strive to build worlds that inspire friendship, the friend game, and to create amazing gaming experiences that leave an indelible mark on people's lives. We've started breaking bones and trying new things with episodes. Some of those changes have been well received by the community, like the Vespers host dungeon race. Yes, that was pretty cool. The team found just the right mix of challenge and length to elevate the dungeon to the bar set by contest raids. I can't wait to watch the next race with Heresy launches in February. Other changes have had a rocky start. Weapon crafting removed the joy of earning a random weapon. I disagree wholeheartedly. That feeling that any drop could matter. So we introduced enhanceable weapons, which
I agree with that.
Here's the problem. Here's a problem with enhanced weapons. You spend all this money to enhance a weapon, probably almost in line with crafting a weapon, but that's it. You can't change it. If as the sandbox changes or as the game changes, you can't change the weapon. You can't break the bones. You have to keep that enhanced weapon. And ultimately, if the perks are nerfed in the future, then it's just basically going to be dismantled. That's the difference. Whereas I can go back and reshape a weapon to where the sandbox is or what's working right now. That's the big difference for me with crafting and why I think they were silly to get rid of crafting in this episode, because I have zero enthusiasm getting these seasonal weapons. I've got a few in my vault, but I maybe
because they're not great.
But
it's not for me because of the crafting versus RNG discussion.
I get that too. So they did say the Revenant tonics were meant to provide loot agency in lieu of crafting and give you a fresh way to chase gear. Problem is they never work. But we know we missed the mark with the tonic timers and not guaranteeing a weapon from the active tonic. So we're in the process of developing changes to make tonics last longer, and we talked about that, and give better payouts on top of series of bug fixes planned for December 17th. Keep that date in mind. Stay tuned for future patch notes. Also, we see how these changes are putting pressure on your vault. So we're in the early stages of planning long-term changes to relieve vault pressure that will start to manifest later in the year of Codename Frontier. So we're talking probably Behemoth, probably when we're talking about it's going to come around. This is what got my ears perked up, Kingsley. I'm going to stop there. What do you think, man? What do you think that means?
Well, I have even stuff to say in a paragraph back, but if we want to talk about this first, I know where you're going to
start wherever you want, man. I'll roll with you.
When they're talking about the previous paragraph that we kind of skipped over real quick, they're reminding us that Heresy launches in February. And you may not find that interesting, but we were having a discussion about this after the raid or something the other night. And did you know that with Act 3 of coming up in January 4th or 7th, I think it is? 7th. That act is only going to be 4 weeks, and most acts are 6 weeks. So I find that extremely interesting.
So what?
Because if you think about it, January 7th, and then the next season starts February. Yeah.
That is, I did not
It's only going to be a month-long act. I'm not complaining because I'm ready for Heresy, but they remember most acts were supposed to be 6 months. Now, if you do the math, there's no way they could have, if you think this through, because remember, it started, a week or two after Final Shape anyway, so we already lost a week or two there. And then I think the other people were doing the math where not every act can be 6 weeks.
Right.
So this is probably where they're cutting it, is on this one. So this is good news to me, only a month until Heresy. So I just kind of wanted to point that out because I don't think people are thinking that through. We have a launch beginning of January for Act 3, and then we have another launch beginning of February for Heresy.
That's going to fly by too.
It is.
And we're going to have an exotic mission. That's going to be fun.
Yep, an exotic mission. Yep.
And no, dungeon's not till February.
The dungeon's in Heresy. Yeah, that's right after the drop. And that is interesting too, because they're bringing a dungeon right away at the beginning of the episode. Yep.
I mean, they're not sitting on their ass, guys. Those dungeons take a lot of work.
I know.
I mean, I'm trying to think how far ahead they have to be to make all this stuff. Probably, I imagine, almost a year and ahead, on a lot of the stuff they're making. At least 6 months, 8 months, maybe. Anyway, well, let's talk about the next paragraph.
Well, now I'm excited about the vault thing too, but just to even back up again, they're not admitting that, and I think I agree with this too, and I've read other articles, they're not saying that doing the RNG was a bad idea. They're saying the way it was implemented was a bad idea. Everyone can agree with that. The crafting tonic thing sucked. Instead of going after enhanced weapons, they should have just let us focus on regular weapons like Into the Light. Remember, you could go into the room and say, I want this weapon, and you'll get those drops.
I think you go to focus now on the new Onslaught, you have to go to Zavala, right? The same thing? I think that's where you go to focus for Onslaught.
No, you use the tonics. You mean now?
I mean, didn't they move the where you went to and Into the Light, you go to the pedestal and say, I want to focus. I want to make sure this weapon drops 50% of the time. Now you go to Zavala, don't you? To
No, you do the tonics if you want to.
Yeah,
if you want to,
pass,
right?
Pass.
Yeah, but that's what they're saying. Yeah, Zavala's for Onslaught, but
Yeah,
but
that's
if
what I
you're
meant.
talking about the seasonal stuff,
Yeah.
yeah, you're thinking about what Onslaught kept, but I'm talking about the seasonal stuff. So
Gotcha.
this is giving the RNG weapons a worse case than what's fair. Like
Okay.
we can have a discussion all day about, and Bungie, if you read between the lines, they're not saying even that they're going to be getting rid of RNG drops. Now, I'm fine if they bring back, crafting again, whatever, but they may not even need to too, because of what we'll talk about next. But I think the important thing, in my opinion, is the main problem this season with the weapons were A, they weren't that interesting, and B, the way to get them was horrible. It's not just because it's RNG versus craftable.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
But what do you think they're going to do with the vault?
I think I know. I mean, because
I think
I've mentioned
we're
it.
hoping, right?
I've mentioned it before. It's something I've been preaching for probably 3 years now, and that's the collection system. That collection system is a joke. I mean, you might as well just throw it out of the game if we're trying to focus blues and like year 1 legendaries that have fixed roles and aren't even. It's a joke. The collections tab is a joke. If you want to get a gun, anything you want to get from collections, like I said, it's not half as strong as what is in the game right now. So I think they're gonna redo the collections. I mean, the fact that they say it's long-term and zombie pops is like pay for vault space. No, this is a long-term solution, zombie pops. And
plus
we would be pitchforks and torches if they were making us buy spots. It's as idiotic as buying
so much. Technically speaking, you can't make the vault just higher and higher just because people are paying for it. It's a technical issue too. Yeah.
Yeah. And Steel Zealots does say collections is basically just for reacquiring exotics. I get that. But if it's armor exotics, you're not going to get a good roll. You got to hang on to your armor exotics. If you have a 68 roll on your armor exotic, you're only going to get a 48. At least that's the way it used to be. If you were trying to pull something out of collections, you got the base 48, and no one wants that. It almost is not even worth it. So yeah, I think the collections tab I think they're going to redo the collections tab
so that we can get our legendaries, right? And we can, like you said, it'd probably be on rolls you earned.
Well,
now,
yeah,
let's say, and then I'll see what you're thinking, but regardless again about the RNG versus crafting thing, but let's say for weapons you have earned RNG, right?
Right.
And if you've earned certain perks, then why not have a collection system where you can get rid of those weapons, but you can pull them again with those specific perks you've earned RNG?
Prime example from the Halloween event. I've got the Braytech Werewolf with all kinds of cool rolls. And you can look, they made me enhance 2 of them. Because I wanted to try them in the Crucible and see how they worked, and they do work good, by the way.
They didn't make you.
but look how many slots in my, because this is RNG, I can't craft this. Now this my deliverance right here. I crafted it, and guess how many deliverances I have in my vault? 1. This is how they fix the vault problem, is to allow us to craft more weapons so we can get rid of all these RNG duplicates, and we could just go and craft it at I never can remember the name of that planet.
Yeah, that thing. I know what you mean, but
I'm just getting old. I
notice
can't remember.
they're not saying anything about crafting, and with the next paragraph too, I almost wonder if they're deprecating crafting. But...
No, don't shut your mouth. Don't you dare say that. No, crafting was something I talked about for the longest time. Is they Enclave. Thank you, Steel Zealot. This is something I said, listen, I want to get, give me a little thing that I have to do. Okay. I got to collect 5 frames for this weapon. I just got the 5 frames for using my harmonic balancers that I got from my season pass bar. I was able to craft my, going back to my dim here. I was so happy because I don't like playing the raid to get me the age-old bond. So I got it crafted now. Now I'm just getting kills with it to get my weapon rank up. Sorry, you're having to look at chat to see this, Kingsley. But I don't have the best rolls here. But as soon as I get to level 16, 17 on this rifle, I'll have everything unlocked. And this is
Yeah,
my rifle. First thing I did when I got this is I eliminated all of my age-old bonds. Think about how much free space that freed up. So,
But that
sorry.
doesn't matter if they fix the vault thing. Well, let's read the next paragraph, and then I want to come back to this crafting discussion because it's not looking good, I think. But
Sorry, let me get out of I'm on the wrong tab. Okay. So they said in response to the desirability of seasonal weapons in the short term for heresy, we've developed a new tier of seasonal weapon dubbed the heretical arsenal. More details on these weapons as we approach heresy, but we rest assured that we will be clear when they hit your inventory that they're worth inspecting. I'm thinking bright weapons here. I'm thinking shinies. These changes are stepping stones that help us evaluate our long-term plans to create a deeper weapon chase in Codename Frontiers.
Okay. What does chase usually mean? That usually means more RNG than crafting.
God rolls. I'm getting a headache.
Yeah.
Getting a headache.
Sorry. Now, I don't think they should get rid of crafting. I've always said all along that it should be like a season behind or after you've earned, certain things. But
Yeah.
I'm not trying to even say I want to make you sad or not, but based on what I'm reading from this,
Right.
I'm thinking that they're deprecating crafting.
Zombie Pops had a good point here, and I wanted to talk about this before we moved on. I know we have a lot of points to cover here.
Yeah,
he says, so do you think you could only pull specific combos, or say you could pick any perks that you have unlocked? That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, any perks you've unlocked.
So think about it. If you're chasing weapons and you're getting all these, like looking at my Braytech auto rifle here, I've got all kinds of rolls here. They all have different kinds of things. Tap the triggers in moment. We've got target lock, dynamic sway. I've got one with kill clip lone wolf, which is one of the new perks. Another one with onslaught substance. Think about that. That's a great roll. Onslaught zen moment, different combinations. Is trap the trigger rewind rounds. Nope, not gonna do it. Kinetic tremors, rewind rounds. Look at that. That's a PvE god gun right there. So it's exactly what I'm saying, Zombie, is once I get all of these weapons to drop, I can delete them out of my vault, just like I could with crafting, because I can just go add it to my gun. But what if I could go to collections and say, okay, I want the Braytech werewolf and they'll show you all the perks that are unlocked. Because if you look at the way they lay out these perks, sorry, Kingsley, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
With the way the gunsmith lays out, once you unlock the perk, then you would have one of these light up. So you know what you can choose from as far as your barrel perks and whatever. Once you unlock it, that will make people play the game more, because they're going to try to unlock everything. It's the same as crafting, except you don't have to go for those, the red bars, the frames. Instead, you just got to play the game and get a bunch of drops. And the more drops you get, the more boxes you're checking off of all the possible rolls of that weapon.
And one thing I want to add, and Allocate just mentioned this. So the thing they're going to have to do, or else it'd be unfair. Let's say that for a second, we're just sticking with the RNG topic, right? Is what if you get one god roll perk on one weapon, and then in a different column, you get a god roll perk on another weapon? That won't count unless there's some extra thing you can do to combine that. Maybe they'll have some extra little special thing, like you get a harmonizer thing that you can kind of like combine the two weapons, but you have to do something really good to do that.
To clarify, are you talking about season to season, like changes in
No. Different columns of perks. So let's say you have a god roll perk on only one weapon on the third column, but then on a different weapon you have a god roll perk in the fourth column.
Oh yeah, well, it would be weapon specific.
Yeah, what people would do to cheat is they would get rid of both those weapons, but then try to pull from collections the god roll, because they've unlocked both of those, but you haven't really unlocked it on a single weapon yet.
Oh, you're saying you have to get it to drop in both columns at the same time. No.
No, I wasn't just saying that. Or there's some special harmonizer, extra little task you can do to like kind of combine your two weapons.
Cost some bright dust or strange coins, because God knows.
Well, a little more than that, but like it would have to be like
maybe you can get them. Maybe you can get them in your season pass bar, which makes you play more because you want to unlock them, right?
Yeah.
I think the days of FOMO for Bungie are over. The days where you can make us, go crazy to Now they still got FOMO for me, like for certain things. If I want to,
Games have to have some FOMO. There's nothing wrong with some FOMO. Yeah.
but they don't have the power of FOMO like they used to, because one, the player base is lower, and two, there's a lot of other games out there right now, and they do things differently. So I think times have changed, Bungie. I think the FOMO stuff that you used to be able to get away with in Destiny 1 and first part of Destiny 2, I don't think you can get away with it anymore, because people are now going to start thinking about, well, do I play Balatro tonight, or do I start farming some more rolls for this weapon in Destiny 2?
I mean, the seasonal events are
just being
FOMO,
honest.
especially only in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah. Iron Banner, definitely. That's definitely, they still get me FOMO with that because it's a limited event.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
In a small...
Trials the same way. Trials the same way. You know, they only offer one featured weapon every weekend for Trials, and I played the heck out of Trials when the heavy burst came up, the Aisha's Care. So they still got me. But it's not as strong as it used to be. Just saying. Anything else you want to mention?
People, this article is a lot more of conversation than you would maybe even expect.
It does. It does. I knew it would be the meat of the show tonight. So I'm watching our clock too. So the next thing they talk about is making sure I'm ahead. I'm in the right spot here. Episodes introduced a new content cadence with acts. While there are new activities, loot, and quests rolling out on a consistent cadence, this change created lulls in our gameplay calendar at the end of the episode. That's very true. So for the first final weeks of Revenant, there will be a special pursuit similar to Riven's Wishes. I like this, where you can complete quests to choose from a list of new and desirable awards, like the shaders, it's on the tip of my tongue. The special shaders that you get during season and stuff.
Mementos.
Thank you. Mementos. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, this is good, but Riven's Wishes to me weren't that interesting. I still think they could do something a little more interesting, but hopefully this idea will be a little bit better than Riven's Wishes. The thing about Riven's Wishes, if you remember, some of them were just boring things like,
yep, they were red bars.
But I mean, what you do,
do.
So like,
I don't mind that. I don't mind. I don't mind the little task. I really don't. That part, I don't mind busy work when it comes to getting what I want. Give me the path.
Yeah. Did it give guaranteed weapons, or was it just guaranteed materials?
How do you think I got the red bars to start for that auto rifle?
Red bars, but not a specific guaranteed weapon, right?
Well, now what you would get? No, in the Riven's Wishes, you could buy materials, you could buy the mementos, which I already had them. You could buy the, I think the main thing I went for is I wanted to get one of the Last Wish raid weapons crafted, because I don't like that raid. I just don't have fun playing that raid. It's very long. It takes a lot of time. And that's how I was able to get that auto rifle crafted, is I bought 2 of them, I think.
Yeah. So, and I know you're coming from it from the loot perspective, but they said activities, loot, and quests. So there's more than just loot. And what I'm coming from is perspective of they're trying to say they want to have more stuff at the back half of the acts to make it interesting. Right. But if these are just Riven's Wishes, that's not an interesting activity to me. So we'll see what it is. I am excited for the loot side of the equation, but I feel like they may be talking up too much for this part. We'll see.
I think the reason why you don't like loot as much is because you don't play a lot of PvP. And PvP, it's all about the gun. It's all about getting that gun that's really working well before Bungie finds out about it and nerfs it, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm more loot driven, I think, than you, because you probably have some kick-ass guns already that you can use in any raid you want. Yeah. And you're more limited as far as what you want to go after.
Yeah.
So,
but regardless, they said activities and quests also. So I hope they're not just talking it up, and there will actually be good activities.
Okay. Fair enough. It says, additionally, we've been evaluating feedback from Revenant's content rollout, and we've made changes to Heresy that strike a better balance between everything dropping on day 1 of an act versus meaningful reasons to return throughout the episodes. What I've been talking about. We're taking an approach where the vast majority of activities content will be available on its first day of the act, and subsequent weeks will add or evolve the content based on the story. Also, we're adjusting the act rollout schedule so that there is less downtime in the gameplay calendar later in the episode. Heresy will be our last season of the episode format. Amen. Thank you. The team has taken some big swings to create new activities that evolve throughout the episode and create big secrets to uncover on the Dreadnought. Man, I'm just getting excited thinking about Dreadnought. I spent so much time in Taking King on that dang
Yes.
ship.
I am very excited about the Dreadnought too. Now, they're kind of being very wishy-washy about this. They said that they were going to strike things out better, but then in the next sentence they say the vast majority of activities will continue to be available on day one, and then things will evolve based on the story. I don't see this really bringing people back week after week, because probably what they're going to do with this is you're going to have the new battleground mission, but it'll be slightly different in week 3. Is that really going to get you back that much if the vast majority of stuff is still dropped on day one? You know?
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to be downer here.
No. I feel they're talking out of both sides of their mouth too. I do.
Yeah, I'm trying to be realistic. Yeah.
I'm foggy on what they mean by this. It's very cryptic, and that's like Bungie to do that. So
it is. Yeah.
Ready to move on to the next one?
Yes.
Widening the focus. As Revenant approaches its final act, where you'll delve into a Dracula's castle-inspired fortress. That sounds exciting. I want to take a moment to reflect on some of the feedback we've received around the Echoes and Revenant's story, as well as the hunger for purpose and meaning in a post-Witness world. Our first 2 episodes had tight focus, establishing Maya Sundaresh and her Echo of Command, even though she just walked away at the end, meant nothing. As a force to be reckoned with, Fikrul reemerged with the power to create an undead army for one last showdown with the Guardian and his dad. We set out to deliver our narrative promises set up in the Light and Darkness saga that we couldn't tie off in the final shape. The Kell of Kells, the Hive siblings, showcasing the effect killing the Witness had on the world, and more. By prioritizing satisfying conclusions, we want to clear a path for a bold new storyline in the saga to come. I'm excited, man. I know you're excited.
No, but this paragraph was just fluff. Like, right? Like, we were like, you said Myra just walked away. What was so exciting about these
But you got a conclusion, Kingsley. Didn't you like the conclusion?
Did you?
Like, I already mentioned it. She just said, "Bye, peace out. I'm out." I'm like,
So this paragraph is definitely fluff. They're trying to make us feel better, but is it really working?
Come on, Robbie. Come on, Robbie. What are you doing? They did say that in Heresy, we're widening the focus of the story to the Hive Pantheon and ancient eldritch forces that shape the universe. The events of Heresy close the door on the Light and Darkness saga and act as a prologue, which I always thought the episodes were, to Codename Apollo, where the Guardian's purposes in the next saga starts to take focus. That's what got me excited. Sorry, not that first paragraph. That's what got me excited. The Light and Dark saga is over.
Yeah. But they've already told us that twice now. This is another thing that pisses me off. The campaign was supposed to be the prologue, and it was over, and then the cleanup was the episodes, but now they're saying it's still not over until the end of the episode.
Wait till Heresy's over, right?
But you know what? This is what I saw all along when people were talking, 2 years ago or a year, I don't know, when we were talking about Final Shape, right?
Yeah.
And so many people were speculating, well, you can't just have the game be done after the campaign, right?
Right.
And what's going to happen? Are they going to try to tell us, be excited for the stuff that comes out throughout the year? Well, that's exactly what happened. The stuff that's come out throughout the year after Final Shape wasn't really that interesting. I'm hoping Heresy is going to be a lot better, but it wasn't really that interesting. And all they're doing is just stringing us along saying, but it's exciting. Look around the corner. There's this exciting stuff the whole year after Final Shape. But honestly, the exciting stuff's probably not until Frontiers.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited to see what we do in the Dreadnought. I think it'll be like kind of like parts of Mars. You're only going to have like a small portion of the ship you're going to probably be doing missions on or whatever. But I'm excited just to see what they're going to do with the Dreadnought.
I hope so much that it's a fairly large area. I mean, if you think about the King's Fall raid in Destiny 2, we only have, that's only probably like a tenth of the size of the whole Dreadnought. Now, of course, some of the King's Fall raid is in an area that you can't patrol on of the Dreadnought from Destiny 1.
Yeah.
But the patrollable area, the Court of Oryx, kind of like where you start the D2
Yeah.
or Kingsville raid.
Kind of slot in the middle. Yeah.
You know, they let you go back in those rooms, but if you try to go down the long hallways, they actually closed off a
It's
crack
like-
in the wall where you could go to other zones.
Yep.
And then there's one other exit on the other side. But if you take that whole space, that's like a tenth of the whole dreadnought.
Oh, it's
Now,
enormous.
I hope. Now, remember when we do have a precedence. That's kind of sad. But remember when they did the haunted derelict Leviathan?
Yes.
They didn't bring that much of the Leviathan back. So I hope the dreadnought will be more than that situation. Whatever it is, I'll be excited. Dreadnought's a very, very cool area, and there will undoubtedly be some secrets to find, because why not, right? They would be totally stupid to not have, like, you got to go in some cracks and corners, like what it was when we were figuring all this stuff out back in the day. And I'm going to be positive, hopeful on this, and I'm going to say that this will be, my prediction is the best episode of the year.
Okay.
I hope. So
it's not saying much, but
because
the last 2 episodes were very lackluster for me. Sorry.
But I hope. That's what I'm being hopeful about.
Yeah. I mean, this bought him time. I mean, I knew this was a prologue. I knew this was just going to buy him time until they came out with the next thing. Here's my question to you, Kingsley.
But since we knew that, though, and they were selling it, they were saying, like, buy the expansion, the annual pass, because it's going to be so good. And that was just all marketing speak.
Well,
really.
They basically, what they did is they said, oh, we're going to extend out the season pass, which they need to do that anyway. They need to have a prestige system for that. I mean, just like they do in Call of Duty. I've said it so many times. I'm going to just keep saying it. I'll keep beating that drum, Bungie, until you guys can hear me. We will grind to get stuff unlocked in that season pass bar for doing anything we want in the world, which is what I always wanted, because sometimes I play simple stuff. Sometimes I raid. Sometimes I do a little bit of everything. But the main question I have for you, Kingsley, is if there's no light and dark, what are we going to be talking about? What's going to be the next big storyline? What do you think?
In a way, I don't even care. I don't know that it matters. But as far as speculation, it could be so many things. It could be like, so light and dark, the assumption there, usually people associate light with the good side and dark with the bad side. Although, as we see, that's not always the case. Things will often flop, and the good people, quote, will often start doing bad things, and the things flip-flop back and forth. Yeah. But you don't have to have a binary system. It could just be something as basic as there's no good or bad. There's just this. And we are trying to gain power, and maybe even way down the road, we're making a new light and a new dark. Or it could be something where there's multiple things. There's like shades. It's not light and dark. There's like, it's hard to understand in our minds, but like there's like a green, there's like a red, but there's no like just light and dark. So I think the possibilities are limitless, but I'm just excited to see what they come up with.
Yeah, and I am starting to read the new lore book, Jimmy. I know you mentioned that. I just got the latest one, Penumbra, and I've just started it. I just cracked it open. I just think I've read the first 5 pages maybe on it. I read it slowly because I want to make sure. A lot of the reading is tedious to read. Some of it depends what lore entry you're trying to read. But I've been at 150 for a long time. I've maxed out my rank, and as soon as guess what happened when I got to rank 150? Started hoarding bounties because I'm waiting for the next 50, and I want to get through it as quick as I can so I can just do whatever I want to in the game and not have to worry about levels. But I've been 150 for a while now, Jimmy. I do bounties, man. I do bounties. You got to get paid. You got to get paid to play. But I don't know, man. It gets me thinking. We're not talking about the ghost light and all that stuff anymore. I mean, is the ghost going to even be anything we care about going into this new saga, since it's not about light? I mean,
it could be. It could be like maybe they don't give us powers to resurrect the same way, but we'll still find some other way to do that. It could be the ghosts are just like a buff that it could be a better thing than they're not just resurrecting us, but they're giving us some like constant buff.
Yeah.
Who knows? I see what you're saying. I'm not really worried about it or really care with what they come up with, but it could be. I hope it's something just wild and off the charts.
Please, we need it.
Yeah,
we need it. Yeah. I mean, We've played this game for a decade, man. They need to shake it up. And it sounds like that's what they're going to do. I mean, I remember looking at that concept art. I got excited because there were some really crazy areas they made there with the new.
Crazy looking areas.
And where are we going?
Yeah.
What world are we going to? That didn't look like anything I knew of.
Yeah, so it will be crazy. And then I'm also looking forward to, we got to get more information by like February at the latest for pre-sales if it's still coming out in June.
Yep.
And here's what I'm looking to the most. Once it goes up for pre-sale for ordering it, that's the time where they have to draw the line in the sand again if they're going to push back another year of old gen consoles. And I hope this time they're finally kicking to the curb the old gen consoles. We don't know yet until they announce it. It always is going to be when they actually sell stuff, because it can't be after, because if it's after, they're already selling it to the old gen consoles, so they can't change their mind after the fact. But I hope we find out in February-ish what all those details are.
We love you, PS4 and Xbox One, but it's time to upgrade. Come on, it's time to upgrade. It's time. I mean, how many years have you had that console? You know,
well, it's in every other game too. It's like, is any other? I'm sure there's some games that are still in development that still work. I'm not obviously new games coming out are not going to be on PS4, but like, what other games that are live service are still on PS4? I wonder.
Fortnite live service. I mean,
yeah.
Fortnite you could play on anything. I think. I mean, it's a pretty simple game.
But regardless, I mean, we all know, and Bungie's said before too. I think, I said all along too, like a long time ago, they should have cut it more 2 years ago. And I know people were scared because not as many people had PS5s. I agree that they shouldn't have done it at Final Shape because that's kind of like the capstone there. So they should have done it 2 years ago, or they have to do it this time. If they still don't do it, what even is going on? Like, I guess they're just going to keep it legacy for a long time, but then that also is really bad news for all of us that we want better systems in place that are hard to program with the legacy consoles.
Yeah, and Jimmy Nezarek is still lingering out there. Yeah, but we're leaving the Soul system, man. I don't think he's coming with us. I think we're going to get all new bosses, all new threats. I'm excited. I really am. I'm curious. This is what I said a year ago, that we're going to drive the Dreadnought and it's going to crash. This would be perfect if they did it this way. I know, Kingsley, you were there when I said it. It's going to crash, right? It's going to go through a wormhole or whatever we do to leave the Soul system quickly. And we're going to have like just a very brief time. You know, when you play DSC, how the ship is like flying down, all you see is fire coming up through the windows. I think I'm envisioning that. And you got to go to your vault and grab 10 weapons, and that's it. You're jumping out into an escape pod.
With that, but do we really know that the Dreadnought's that better of a ship than any other ship that can go through solar systems?
It's pretty old, and it's been hit a few times by the Queen Mara, but I don't know. It's just exciting. I just really
it'll be exciting no matter what happens, and I'm excited for the Dreadnought. And but yeah, I'm really, really interested in what happens with weapon stuff down the road, what happens with technical stuff if they get rid of that. And then I'm also excited to see if they keep the June. Like, it'll be kind of a feat in a way with having less staff and keeping the June timeframe without a delay.
Yep. Great. And they say, they close out here and say, on a personal note, this past November marked my 9th year at Bungie. I've seen Bungie and Destiny go through many changes over the last decade. What remains constant is the player community and the Destiny team's commitment and dedication to the one-of-a-kind space opera, and our drive to take Destiny to places we could only have imagined a decade ago. It's appropriate that during Destiny's 10th anniversary, we reshape the game so that we continue the enduring legacy of this universe that millions of people call home. We are eternally grateful to you, our guardians, for your passion and dedication to Destiny that enables us to chart a course to new frontiers. All that basically saying that, hey, they're going to make changes, major changes here. And that's all that excites me, because it has to be done. Otherwise they need to make a new game, or they just need to hope that Marathon can carry them. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I'm going to try Marathon because I like PvP games, but I don't know if I'm going to be crazy about an extraction shooter. I really don't know. I haven't had very good experiences with those games.
And I'm eternally hopeful too. But I'll tell you, and it doesn't mean I'll be stepping away from Destiny thing, but
Yeah.
people keep kicking the can down the road, like it'll get better, it'll get better. But if like my prediction is like once Frontiers come out, we would know within 3 months.
Mhm.
If it's not dramatically different, then I feel like I'm still correct in my opinion, as they should have made a Destiny 3 instead. But we'll see how that happens. So that's what I'm going to be looking forward to a few months after Frontiers.
I hear you, man. Hey, good talk. That was good discussion. I had a feeling we'd have a lot to say there.
Oh yeah,
I
it was
did take
fun.
some time.
Thanks for people letting us take your time here with this.
Yeah, we appreciate the comments too. By the way, we didn't ignore them. We just had to keep moving along. You know what we do have though, and this is the one thing that we need to get out of the way tonight before we leave, Kingsley, and that is our drawing for our end of the year survey that many of you took. And someone's going to win $100 Amazon digital gift card tonight. We're going to email them the numbers to that. So we're going to do that right after we take this small break. Right back. And here's the cool thing. Gator's been busy. We can get rid of that thing. We have a wheel. We have a wheel that we're going to spin tonight. It's going to be pretty cool. So, all right, let's get to it. 3, 2. All right. So, for those of you who are not aware, we had a end of the year survey through our new website, guardiandowncast.com. And our members could go to guardiandowncast.com/survey. That survey's closed, by the way. You can't go there anymore. But there's a special link that only our listeners knew about. And we had 27 people share their opinions. And I have to admit, people took their time. They wrote out a lot of information, a lot of stuff that they liked, a lot of things they don't like about the show. And we're going to have another episode where we'll go over some of these things that people mentioned down the road, probably first part of the year. But I just want to thank everyone who jumped in here and took the survey, because I realized there was some personal questions in there. I do apologize. This is the first time doing it. It's a template, and I'll make sure that those aren't in the next time around, the questions about your salary and all that stuff. And by the way, just so you know, I omitted all the names that people, because there was one question it asked what your name was. I omitted that. I didn't want to know who left these comments. So some of them I know because their names match up, and I know we're some of the people here who put their 2 cents in, and we appreciate that. But it is time for our drawing. So
drum roll.
Yes, we're going to go to the share screen again, and we have the Wheel of Names. We had 24 entries total. And like I said, what I did is I put just pieces of the participants' email in on the wheel here, so you know. And
some of these are pretty obvious.
Some of them are obvious, yes. Some of them we know. So, but I'm going to hide this, and we are going to spin the wheel. So here we go. Oh, let me do this first, just so it's fair. I want to make sure it's fair. I'm going to shuffle it a few times. Let's give it a good shuffle here. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. Okay, we can hide that now. Here we go. Good luck, everybody. Soccer OG wins the gift card. Man, look at that.
That was right on the line too.
He was so close.
So
close. But
nice.
Soccer OG, congrats, buddy. You won $100
that's awesome.
Amazon digital gift card, and we will email that to you so you can use it before Christmas. And thanks everyone again. Yeah. Thanks again for putting in your survey entries, and we'll do something like that probably throughout the year. We'll have some more contests going forward, but congratulations, Soccer. Man, it's like a thread. He's like just right there. Anyway, hey, a win's a win. Congrats, Soccer. We'll be sure to get in touch with you, buddy, and get that to you. So that is done. And one thing we do want to do before we leave tonight, and one of our chat was mentioning this, is we do have some questions for the show tonight. So let's end on that tonight, Kingsley, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Let me pull this up here real quick. Steel Zealot. It's not rigged. It's a it's software, man. It's a randomizer. Come on. I can't touch it.
He said he's not on there. Was he supposed to be?
It's Steel Zealot. It's not your name. It's probably part of your email address, buddy. Yeah. Yeah. I got both of your entries. Some of them were duplicated. I don't know if the website messed up or something, but I don't know. Whatever. What's up, Kim? All right. So we had some questions from our Discord, and I wanted to ask those tonight before we go. I've got them right here. And these are non-Destiny questions. So they were kind of more personal questions here, but there were some good ones here. I want to make sure that we ask some of them. Oda Yukamura, question for the show. Anybody else just get the random urge to become a superhuman at varying times of the day? Like I was just sitting here watching YouTube and I had the feeling that I needed to tone up my body and mind so I can make Captain America my biatch. You ever feel that way, Kingsley? You just get a burst of energy?
Nope.
Sorry, Oda. I know.
I want to say yes. I mean, I think it'd be cool to have the powers of invisibility and stuff like that, but I really don't think about it much. But I love the question. Yeah,
it was a good question.
What about you? Do you ever feel that way?
I would like to say that there are very few mornings that I wake up in the morning and I'm like, let's go. I'm usually waking up like, crack. Ow, ooh, ew. Oh, how is that hurting? I didn't even lay on it last night, you know? Just part of getting old. So my mornings are very slow going. So yeah, that's probably a no for me, but it maybe it happens. Who knows? That Scarlet thing here. Yeah. Make me just go super fast and get my work done, especially if I work incentive based. I get it, man. I get it. I do get it.
Yeah, I was taking the question, and I could be misunderstood to more like, do I want to just have random superpowers? But of course, I would love to, if it's a goal for getting something done. Yeah, hell yeah, I would love to snap my fingers and just get something done.
Yeah, I got you.
There we go. That's the answer.
Still a zealot. I'll email. I'll DM you later, buddy, about that. I am half Pedro. Any thought about continuing playing favorites, the podcast with or without Hazel? At this point, no. I actually have another podcast idea I'm coming up with. It's a solo podcast. I don't know if Destiny Help Desk is going to continue either while we're on that subject. I'm trying to figure out what its mission is going to be going forward. And I've really committed to Guardian Downcast. I want to make sure I spend all my energy right now on this show, especially now that we're doing live vodcast for our community. And it's the kind of thing where I have to be wary of where I spend my time. You know, I've got a grandson now. I've got extra time I want to spend with him. So, it's I'm not saying it's discontinued. It's still out there, Jimmy. I don't know yet if I'm gonna. I'm really trying to figure out where Destiny Help Desk role is going to be going forward here in 2025. I haven't released an episode in I think 5 months. There's just the state of Destiny right now. There's stuff that I want to talk about, but I don't know. I just gotta rethink things. And I know Guardian Downcast is our main show. It's our flagship. So, I'll be sure to let you know what I plan on doing there. And, I got the Patreon podcast that I put out once a month, or I try to. Mm-hmm. So, a lot of different things there.
And I'm going to add to that too. I mean, I know it's a lot of work, even doing Guardian Hub, and I probably only put in a tenth of the work you do with Guardian Downcast, but it still is work just having that every week, and having a second podcast is almost as much, even though you might think like, well, you could record it right before. I'm like, it's still that much more time per week. I occasionally do another tech podcast that I'm like a returning guest, but I'm not like a normal guest on that. And then I'm just thinking to myself too, like, ooh, that'd be a lot of work to do yet another podcast. I'm not opposed to the idea, but hey, I challenge you people too. You want a podcast? Start one yourself. We'll listen. We'll
absolutely
check it out. Yeah.
There's a couple things about podcasting that I hold dear. The one thing is you have to fight for your audience. Your audience is the most important thing. You all spend your time, your free time, to watch me and Kingsley and RNGGator, or listen during the day. And I've gotten so many cool comments from people from YouTube, people from that have just joined our community that say, hey man, you get me through my Mondays. I mean, my Mondays are miserable, and it's nice. It's like I got you on my shoulder, just talking with me and just chilling out with me, you know, about a game I like to play. Some people in the survey says, I don't even play Destiny anymore, but I love listening to your show. So that means a lot. I mean, that really fills the tank. So I'm not saying Destiny Help Desk is out. I have to figure out what its role is going to be going forward, but playing favorites was dead a long time ago. I actually killed the feed probably a year ago when Hazel left. So
I mean, we could maybe consider like a once or twice a year little fun extra podcast
Yeah.
if we have time. But yeah, we can't like commit. I agree with Gator. I mean, I'm like speaking for you now, but like
Yeah.
it's work, and we love the idea. We appreciate that you're telling us that, but it's like I'm backing up Gator saying like, no, don't do it. It's going to be a lot of work.
Well, Jimmy makes a good point. He says, make the help desk part of your main show. That was one of the comments we got from our survey, was to have a loadout of the week or weapon of the week. And I think I tried that a few times in earlier shows, and maybe that'll be something we talk about. I mean, I have 2 other hosts now, so we have to all discuss things and see if there's something we want to spend the time doing. Cause I mean, I know it may seem like Kingsley just shows up here every week. No, Kingsley does a lot of prep for the show. He has to prepare just as much. I mean, I have a lot of prep as well. I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into making a podcast, and I'm not complaining. I'm really not. Because if I didn't love doing it, I didn't have a passion to do it, I wouldn't do it. It's just that simple, because it's not like I'm making a living doing this. I'm the thanks to the patrons. That's patreon.com/support Guardian Downcast. If you ever want to support the show, that pays for stuff that I don't want to pay for to run a community, that I don't feel I should have to pay for. And if I do, it's a major expense. I mean, it's hundreds a month to with all the services that we use to run this show, to just for like things like our podcast website. I mean, Kingsley knows about tech. Tech costs money. The Me 6 bot in our Discord, I have to pay for that every month. That's a monthly fee. Also, plus I do some boosting, actually additional boosting, so we can continue to get the benefits of the tier 3, the maxed out tier 3 Discord community. That's from our Patreon community that pays for that. So it's a lot of work goes into a podcast, and if you don't have the passion to do it, it's going to be really a tough year. So I still love doing it. And Steel Zealot made my point that I was going to talk about next. You talked about Destiny Help Desk, or maybe playing favorites. Here's the thing. That's why I have the roundtables, because the roundtable episodes are where we can talk about anything, and it doesn't have to be about Destiny. And sometimes it isn't. Like next week, for instance, we're going to have a holiday roundtable, and I'm bringing a topic to the show that I'm a little apprehensive to bring, but I think it can help a lot of people. And it has something to do with gaming, but it doesn't have anything to do with Destiny. So that's my time to do like my playing favorites type stuff. And that's Kingsley and RNGGator's opportunity as well. And we'll have one of our community members jumping in next week in our roundtable as well. And he'll have he will have a topic as well. So that's why I love the roundtable episodes. I've always loved roundtable podcasts where everyone goes around and brings something to the table. So there's something you want to mention, Kingsley?
No, just some good comments too, and one from your son.
Cam says, give me a year or two and a bit more experience wearing the dad pants, and I might be able to make it happen. There you go.
About higher up, Jim says, make a podcast with your son about growing out of your father's pants and being a father themselves.
You know, I actually talked about doing a father-son podcast with my son, and he's just got so much on his plate right now. I mean, our grandson is 5-6 months old now, and he is all in. I mean, he takes a lot of your time.
We've had these discussions before about gaming through different ages, and I had a really quick mini one the other night too, and I was talking to Sen, and it's so true that us as gamers, and also being able to do podcasts and stuff too, and this is something to keep in mind too, people. I would love to see you start a podcast, but try to think it through. Can you keep it going for a while? And some of the best times to do that for most people in their life is either in their 20s before they're married and have a family, or in your 40s or later. So
When you-
many people try this in their 30s when they have a family and a kid and they just get burnt out. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but
Yeah.
do try to think of that, because so many people have tried that in their 30s with the family, with young kids,
Yeah.
and they just can't keep it going because of that.
I mean, the podcast takes up, I mean, it takes up all my energy every week. I mean, I really look forward to our live vodcast with you guys that joined tonight, or maybe are watching the replay after this. I really put a lot of work into giving Kingsley an outline first of what we're going to talk about. And for something he wants to bring to the show, he'll mention it to me and I'll throw it in there. And same with RNGGator. And if there's one thing I want my co-host to do, is not be afraid to enter something they want to talk about, because I want it. It's our show now, you know, it's our show. It's your show. You guys, it's your show really, because through your comments in that survey that we just had a contest with, you guys are telling us what you like, and believe me, I take it to heart. So I realize it's a small sample of our listener base and our viewers out there, but I take it very seriously. So, we'll do more surveys like that. If you guys really like that, and it made it easy to do, with our website, we have all kinds of features with that website. We have the premium version of it. So we have all these extra features that are included in it, and that costs money. It costs money. I mean, they have to stay in business too. Hammer Crasher had a question here. I'm sitting in the lobby at my son's jujitsu class. There's a guy in here on the phone jabbering on and on for a good half hour so far. Question for the show. Is it acceptable to sit in a smallish space jabbering on the phone, or should he step outside or go to his car to talk? Thoughts? What do you think, Kingsley?
Of course, you should go outside.
Yeah.
Look,
I mean,
there's so many things to this. It's not just a niceness thing. It's a practical thing too. People, it can make it harder for others to hear other conversations that are a priority. I deal with this. I mean, even outside of the situation, I deal with it with customers a lot, like where I'm sitting for the rare times I go on site these days, and then we're having to call some vendor for some support issue or whatever. And then there's other employees walking around, like talking really loud next to us on the phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like talking to like my main contact, like, do you mind telling them to like talk somewhere else? Because like you're paying for me to help you get this solved. It's going to take a lot longer. I'm going to have to keep repeating myself if they're like talking really loud.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like common sense to me, but yeah, there's a little bit of things where self-awareness or even some ADHD from time to time, or maybe just not caring what others think. But I agree they should go out.
see, I have two thoughts on this. One, have you ever seen people walking down the sidewalk and they're just sitting there talking to themselves? We don't know you have an earpiece in, you're talking to someone on the phone. I have several neighbors, they just will do their walk, and that's when they talk on their phone, as they do walks as they're talking. And they're so distracted all the time. And you almost look like you're talking to yourself, like you're a crazy person. But yeah, that's one thought, is I have people who are talking out loud, and I'm like, are you talking to me? And they'll look at you like, what? I hate that. That's very, I don't like that. That's, you know.
Well, that part doesn't bug me as much, but the outside, you know, but I hear you.
I mean, and then the second part, I think, is people who maybe don't see themselves as very successful, who get some new tech and they just are showing it off like they have status. I see people like that in Florida all the time. I'm like, dude, the earphones, they've been out a long time, man, since the 90s. It's not a big deal. It's just annoying as hell. I would use another word,
Yeah.
but we are streaming.
I don't know. We have to assume they're just trying to show off, but the bigger point either way is, do they think like they're being quiet enough, or do they,
No.
like, let's say the example back to Hammer Crasher, they're inside a building, right, with other people. Do they think they're being quiet enough? I sometimes hear people, they'll talk a little bit quieter, but it's not quiet enough to
Yeah.
be quiet enough. Or do they think, like, forget the technology angle even, but there's
Yeah.
just self-important in general. They're like some exec and they need to get something done, right? It's like,
Yeah.
ugh, I don't get it, but
I don't, like I said, I don't get it either, but I think it's annoying. I'm never that way. I was never that guy. Even when that technology was first coming out in the late 90s, I never did that. That's just, you're that guy. You're that guy. That's all I can think of. Or that woman. Anyway, one more question before we go is from the original Jimmy. If you ever were in a Groundhog Day scenario, which season would you like to be stuck in, and what would be the first things to try out be? So we're Bill Murray. It's Groundhog Day. What season and what are you doing, Kingsley?
Well, help me narrow down either Sundial or Menagerie.
He's talking about, yeah, okay, season. I mean, he might mean weather season.
Oh, did he mean?
I think he meant
like
weather
seasons
season
of the year,
Yeah.
or did he mean Destiny seasons?
I don't know. It just says season. It just says season.
Because I could have a different answer either way.
Yeah.
Oh, well, first things you'd want to try out be like, I guess
Your
okay,
season.
your season. Okay, sorry,
Season,
I took
your
that.
season.
That makes more sense on that
Yeah.
second part then. Well, obviously spring or summer. So help me narrow that down. I would say spring. Yeah. And what would I want to try out? I mean, that's the nice thing I like about the spring is I can finally start doing some drives, some mountain hikes. Not all of them because you got to wait for summer to do the high elevation stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm almost thinking summer. But spring, there's a lot of water flow and things are greener, at least in my area.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still going to go with spring. Yep.
See, if everyone asks what would your superpower be? It's never invisibility. It's never to fly. It's always to control time. If I can freeze real time and just work, move around like I'm not stuck in time and just do whatever I wanted. This is kind of the scenario I'm talking about here. I would say, I guess the time of the year doesn't matter down here. Cause I mean, let's face it, it's Florida.
It does. Winter's a lot cooler than summer.
We have summer and springish. We really don't have a winter down here. I mean, okay. It was
but winter's still
30,
different than summer,
38.
right?
Yeah. So we have hot and mild. I would say definitely mild. Probably early spring. Probably be the time of year. What would I want to try to do? I mean, because that's the one thing I loved about Groundhog Day is he would try different things. Remember, he was learning how to play piano, and by the end of Groundhog Day, he was a pro. And remember the piano teacher was like, "How did you learn that so quick?" He goes, "I don't know, just lucky. It's lucky, I guess. Maybe I just got the gift." What she doesn't know is that he has been playing that piano every day we don't even know how long it takes in Groundhog Day in that movie. If you haven't seen it, it's a good movie. Bill Murray, Groundhog Day. I think it's from the 2000s. What would I do? What would I start doing?
Yeah. What would you?
That's a good point, man. I'm trying to think here. I know what I would do. I would go to the gym. And because that's the one thing I never can seem to put in my schedule. I need to go to the gym. Because I'll go to the gym. I'll curse going to the gym every time. But whether it's working out with my son or working out by myself, I really don't like working out in public. When I get my earbuds on when I'm in the gym, I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to say, "Hey, is this taken or that taken?" I hate that shit. If I had my druthers, if I had the money, I would set up my own personal gym at home. But I would start building muscle. I would start losing the fat. I would start getting more flexible. I would start doing a lot of the things that I never seem to have the time to do. And that's what I would work on, because I would want to control time and improve when you get this age, it's all about maintaining what you got. And when you don't work out at this age, you start to, you're losing muscle every year. I can already tell my biceps aren't as big as they used to. My delts aren't as big as they used to be. You see this, and it happens so subtly that you just wake up one day and you're like, "Wait a minute. I thought my biceps are bigger than that." You're always looking in the mirror, and I'm telling you, little by little, it just seeps away, and you got to build it back up. The people who live the longest are the people who get that muscle. They don't fall. They have good balance, and they're strong. That's what I would do. Sorry,
Does
it's
that
not
have anything to do with the season, or
this springtime's just a nice time to get out. It'd be a good time to jog around, ride the bike. I could do whatever I want. I can do whatever I want any day, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to do cardio.
Yep.
My muscles are sore from yesterday. I'm going to go hiking today.
If I lived in Florida, because I know Southern California is different as far as humidity, but it's like similar-ish with like weather patterns and stuff. I always liked winters best in California because now where I lived closer to the coast, summers weren't horrible by any means, but I liked winters the best because it was a lot more green because you would and the air was cleaner in the winter. So I don't know do you like winters in Florida or do they get too gloomy?
Winters are the reason I live in Florida, because we'll be down here like right now. Okay, I'll tell you right now, it is.
Yeah, I loved winters in Southern California.
I mean, hey, Fudd, we haven't done a weather report in a long time. I think it's time for a weather report, Fudd. What do you think? Because Fudd always likes it when I mention the weather. Currently, right now in Orlando, Florida, it is 11. I've got 1 a.m. here. It's 56 and partly cloudy. Perfect night. You can open the door at night. You're not too cold. Slight breeze. Tomorrow I've got to help my dad move. He's moving into a new house. It's going to be 76 and sunny out. Then Monday it's going to be 80. Tuesday 81. Then we're dipping back down to 78 on Wednesday, and the 70s and high 60s the rest of the week before Christmas week. So, I mean, that's why I live in Florida. That's why I tolerate the summers. The summers are brutal. You live in air conditioning whenever you get the chance. So I tell you what, Kingsley, I love Utah, man. I love that state. It's such a, I could see living there. It's a very comfortable place to live. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's more comfortable places as far as weather, like San Diego or Hawaii or something, but
yeah.
But it is a nice place if you can handle the winters.
Yeah. I even when I was there during, and I don't ski or anything, but it was nice to see the skiing lodges when I was there, when they had just a little bit of snowfall before it really started coming down when we left. But not going to Utah after Christmas this year. It's going to be somewhere else. I'll talk about it when I get back. But that's all the questions we have tonight, guys. I really appreciate you all hanging out with us. Kingsley, thanks again for hanging with me tonight. Next week, I just want to let you know that we will have our holiday roundtable episode, and we will have one of our community members on board with us, as well as the normal 3 guests, RNGGator, Kingsleymac, and myself. And we'll each be bringing a topic next week. Speaking of off-topic stuff, and it's for the holidays, so might be a little different. Just depends whatever these guys want to bring to the table. I have something totally different I'm bringing next week. I've been looking forward to talking about it, but I'm a little apprehensive because it's definitely off the beaten path, and it may not apply to everybody. So I got to just let you know up front. So if you haven't done it already, do me a favor, hit the like button for those in chat. If you enjoyed the show, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. That way you'll know when I go live every week with Guarding Downcast or my Crucible videos. And my Crucible video I just released a couple weeks ago, still banging. People are giving me some great feedback in there. So I'm looking forward to putting out another Crucible video here very soon. You can go to discord.gg/Guarding Downcast if you're visiting here tonight and you want to join our community and see what our community is all about. That is the invite if you want to join our Discord. And if you have feedback, it's the GDC feedback channel in our Discord as well. So before we go here, Kingsley, want to mention where everyone can reach you, sir?
Yeah, you can find me as Kingsleymac all the places, and I kind of spun up my Blue Sky a little bit more. I'll be trying to post more things there. I'm still on Twitter too, but I just don't know if I have time to post everywhere.
Right.
But I don't know if it's going to be anything super interesting, so don't worry about following me. But Kingsleymac all the places, most notably in the Discord.
And you guys are already here. It's Todd the Gator, 2 Ds, GATR, Todd the Gator. On my YouTube, and that's my gamer tag 7359, I believe, is my Bungie number if you want to send me a friend request. And when you send the request, put GDC in it. That way I'll know how you heard about me, because I get spam stuff all the time and I don't always take friend requests from people I don't really know. So just put GDC in the comment and I'll know you got it from listening to the show. So thank you all again for hanging out. I know we're over time again tonight. We had a lot to cram into one show tonight. Next week should be back kind of to normal. So thank you all for hanging out with us, and we'll see you in the Discord. Later, y'all. Later, Guardians.
Have a good one. Oh, I got to do better than that.
You're fine, dude.